I'm gonna take a 3-piece with the boss sauce
Picture this.
and some macaroni and cheese.
You just ruined the fucking punchline.
I'm sorry.
Are you drinking paint today, Sam?
I'm drinking paint today.
That's the point.
That's the point, and that's what makes me so fucking mad about this goddamn movie. It's the point.
How do you hate this movie? I don't think about him in this movie. He doesn't exist, that fuck. That fucking fuck. I am still here for it.
Your co-host, Mr. Workman, will not be joining us this week, for I have destroyed him for all time.
That's terrible. Can we call it the Foreskin 20 episode?
I'm fucking done.
3 for 3. Now that's really cool.
Welcome, one and all, to the second annual 3 for 3 Oscars special. Thank you for joining us yet again as I take the baton from last year's host, Mr. Matthew Patterson. I am this year's Oscar host, Jackson Workman, and I am joined by last year's host, Mr. Patterson himself, and of course by Mr. Samuel Holler. And once again, we are here to talk about this year's Oscar nominees. Not even really the Best Picture ones, because only one of our picks is a Best Picture nominee. But they're all very fine picks, nonetheless. And we'll talk about the others as we go along. How are you folks doing today?
Angry.
Waking up.
Waking up as well, but I'm sure it's a lot harder for Matt with his time.
Indeed. I am.
Well, that's the life of a PA, my friend.
Yep.
It's early days.
You on that grind.
Yeah.
You on that grind set, as they say.
Yes, the literal grind set.
Had a
Yes,
recital last night, and I completely fucked up one part, and it was very noticeable, and it's on video. But the bases were pretending to be cannons shooting at each other, so technically I was accurate in misfiring because all of those fucking weapons back then tended to misfire rather than work on time, so...
There you go. That's your defense.
That's my
Historical
defense.
accuracy.
But yes, this is going to be a very interesting episode of the 3 for 3 podcast. We have 3 rather interesting picks. And, once it's all said and done, I think we'll also, if we're up to it, give our, talk about whatever our other favorite movies of last year were and how we feel about the other nominees or what should have been there or what not. We'll get there when we get there. We got a lot to live up to this year because last year's Oscar special is still my favorite episode of the show. So we'll see. Hopefully I redeemed myself this year.
Not the blow up, but the real blow up.
Yes, definitely my favorite episode still. But first, I think we are going to take a journey. Where to? Why, all the way to Norway.
Fuck.
And we are going to discuss the one and only Mr. Patterson's pick, Sentimental Value, the only Best Picture nominee that we have this episode. Take it away, my good sir.
Yes, indeed. So I picked this movie. Very, just because we had already seen most of the other ones. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was in for. I knew the cast, but I did not quite know what it was about. But as Sam is playing the music for,
A little loud.
yes, this movie is quite a ride indeed. The gist of the movie is Stellan Skarsgård as this director, Gustav, who makes very brilliant movies. And he has a daughter who is an actress acting in some crazy ass shit. And he does not fuck with her that much. And we will get to that. But he decides that his next movie after his wife dies is going to be about his childhood. And he is going to show the suicide of his mother, who happened to be tortured by Nazis in the Norwegian resistance back in World War II. And during the movie, the movie that we're watching, not the movie that he's going to make, but he ends up casting an American actress, played none other by none other than Elle Fanning, who is the American in the movie. And he is very nice to her, despite being super fucking terrible to Renate Rensive, or I don't know how you say her name.
Renata Reinsve.
Really?
Oh,
I fucked up.
Pronunciation.
Renata Reinsve, thank you. I will carry that one with me for a minute. And the movie is pretty much him and Elle Fanning talking, and then Renate Reinsve just being neglected by not only her father, but her love interest as well. And the movie culminates into a very emotional punch. I don't know. I don't know if it was the circumstances that I watched this movie under, or if it was just the movie itself. But there were parts where I was a little like, let's pick up the pace here, guys. And then there were parts where I was like, damn, this is fucking sad as hell. So, I don't know. I didn't dislike it. I didn't hate it, for sure. But it's very interesting. It's quite honestly not what I expected whatsoever from it. But it explains a lot. And yeah, I fucked with it. But I will open up the floor because it's very well shot, very different, very intriguing. Yeah, I'll open up the floor to you guys now.
Well, I'm just gonna say this before Sam says anything. I can't remember the last time I wanted to slap you so hard calling this Norwegian Jay Kelly. I just like
Not wrong.
you
I
are
haven't
wrong.
seen
Jay
Jay
Kelly
Kelly.
is American Sentimental Value and a dime store version of this movie, but you go ahead and say what you feel.
Stellan Skarsgård is a ripe fuck in this movie, and I don't think she should have had any kind of ill feeling or kind of negative feeling whatsoever, because he's a goddamn bitch that deserved to crawl in a hole and die the way he stole those speakers from her mother at her fucking funeral. And I am just really upset that this goddamn movie has 9 fucking nominations and the other 2 movies are not even nominated for Best Picture, because I think the other 2 movies we have this week deserve it way more than this movie. This movie pisses me off, but I love this movie, but this movie also fucking sucks dick, because how the fuck do you have all these goddamn good people, but I have them all fucking negative towards each other at all goddamn times of the existence? And then it's shot in such a bright goddamn way that looks gorgeous, but then it's also like just fucking hurting my eyeballs because it's just so white. I don't know. I really like this movie, but I need to rewatch it because it did not gel with me at all, and it actively started pissing me off about 20 minutes in, and I had to stop it. And it just really was like not what I was expecting whatsoever. I don't give a shit about Stellan's career. Not in real life. I love the man in real life. I'm talking about the actor in the movie. And I didn't see any justification for letting him back into their lives whatsoever. And so I really appreciated her saying that she would not do this movie for him. And then the whole turn of events after, with him casting Elle Fanning and everything, was just like the biggest goddamn middle finger to her face to ever exist. And it got me really upset. But I don't know. I need to rewatch this because it's something. It is something. And it's, even though it's long, and I agree with Matt, there are parts where it needs to pick up, I don't think it felt too long in any way, shape, or form. I really enjoyed the way it was paced. And
I didn't think it was long. I just thought it was like, there was parts where I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, okay. Bet. Like, just took a second to get to where I was like, okay, bet.
But it was really
And then
cool.
near the end, it kind of just was fine. It was mainly just in the first, like, maybe 20 to 30 minutes where I was like, because again, I didn't look up what it was about, really. I just kind of knew it was Best Picture nominated, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to throw it on. like that's what I'm pick. And I was just like, where is this going exactly? And
I also
then
thought I
by the
was
end
in
of the
the middle
movie,
of
you're
the
like,
movie.
ah,
When I hit play, I thought I was in the middle of the movie because it starts off with that footage that really threw me off. Um, but it did make me really happy because I recognized Berlioz's symphony the second those chimes started playing, which is why I had to play them. I hope it wasn't too loud during your intro, Matt, because I love that song so much. And that song has been stuck in my head ever since I saw this movie a few days ago, and it's just been. I'll be walking, and I'm just walking to the bwomp 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 bwomp. So
the Shining music, I think.
Right. That's
Yep.
exactly what
yeah,
I call it.
Yeah. Every
so
time I hear, well, I've only heard it. Actually, it's funny. This is the only time I've heard that music and not felt like they were just blatantly trying to like rip off Stanley Kubrick, and it was like a weird,
well,
interesting way of using
It was
it.
also in Zootopia too,
really, that's why.
because they do a
Is it?
Shining parody in that
I was
movie.
about to say, do they have the elevator open and something pour out of it type shit?
No, the bad guy in the movie, they literally like have him walking through the maze looking just like Jack Nicholson, like with it snowing and shit. It's
That's
fucking,
wild.
it comes out of nowhere and it's fucking hilarious. I'm just like, what? I was like watching
Well,
the movie, I'm like, what a random parody for them to do out of nowhere.
But
one second, I have
Berlioz
to
is the
grab my
goat.
charger.
He writes some of the best music to ever exist, but he's also a huge asshole, which makes even more sense that this movie has such a stressful goddamn opening where she is just ripping everything off and panicking, and I'm like, I hate this so much because I
Don't even
feel
that I cannot put into words how much the opening scene of this movie stressed me the fuck out. I was sitting here as an actor. I was just like, oh my God, like I sounded like Detective Crashmore, just sitting here like fucking unprofessional bullshit. That was basically me just sitting here.
no,
Um,
I came in charged, and I'm not saying that I hate the movie in any way. I just this year's Oscars are so weird because I don't think there's a single one that I have like through and through been like this is my ride or die this year. That's like for any of the nominees. And so the fact that I like personally and emotionally connected with your pick, Jackson, and my pick, I'll get into. I just I'm so fucking angry that these other movies are just getting their slight little awards for what they did best in, rather than this big movie that is great in scope but doesn't have this individualistic thing that I connected with. And I just like four actor nominations versus like, come on, I don't know.
yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that, Sam. I don't feel so I really like the movie.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I do kind of agree with both of you to a degree. I enjoyed it the whole way through, but there were parts of the movie where I was also thinking like, all right, where is this going? Like, what are we building towards? It was kind of like slow at parts. And then it's one of those movies I wish I had had time to watch it a second time because once you get to the end and you understand the context of everything, you're like, oh, I see now. And like knowing what you know by the end completely changes the context of every scene when you go back. And that's why I'm like, okay, I wanna go back and watch it knowing that now. And I'm sure every scene has so much more meaning than the first time I saw it when I didn't know what we were doing yet. Um, and I remember like at the end, it really, once it clicked for me, I was like, oh, this is a great movie. I was enjoying it the whole way through. But it wasn't until the end when I realized, like, oh, this is actually a great movie, not just a good movie. And because I liked, the all four of the main characters had, they gave great performances. They had interesting character arcs. That last shot of Stellan Skarsgård and Renata Reinsve just like staring at each other, that acknowledgement was just beautiful. I was like, okay, that really like hit me in the feels and shit. And I don't know, all of the characters were interesting. I liked the difference in his relationship with both of the daughters. And, I like that scene towards the end where the two of them are kind of just like, she's like, you're the reason I got through it, not him or whatever. Like, you're the one who gave me strength and all that. Like, that was a sweet moment. And just, examining what having a famous dad does to you, and the other one,
Nick Elliott.
the other daughter, just being like fucking she got to star in one of his movies when she was a little kid and got a taste of that spotlight, but just kind of chose to give it up and doesn't really seem to have the hangups that her sister has. It just completely affected her differently. And that was an interesting kind of thing to pay attention to. And I had heard the joke that this was the thinking man's Jay Kelly, and I agree with that. Because that movie was the most boring goddamn thing I've ever, just no substance whatsoever. Just almost fell asleep watching that fucking movie. And
Almost
this was
exact
like, oh, say
situation.
what?
It's almost exact same situation. Two daughters, one older and like been in his things that also very fucked up, one not as fucked up and dealing with things in a different way.
The difference is this one didn't almost put me to sleep. This one actually gave me something to think about. But that scene had like that movie had like one really great scene with Billy Crudup, and the rest of it I could just take or leave. But
Amen.
yeah,
Fire.
shout out to Rudderless. But but also, it's funny because I honestly completely agree with you, Sam, in the sense that I feel like this year's Best Picture lineup is incredibly boring, and I think most of the movies that are nominated don't deserve to be. Like, I mean, some of them I can tolerate, like One Battle After Another and Train Dreams. I don't think either of those should be there, but I'm like, all right, I'm willing to put up with those because whatever, you got to make compromises every year. But like Frankenstein and F1 and some of these
F1
other
to me is the compromise in
yeah,
all of those movies. Like, why the fuck is F1 nominated,
I
man?
could not tell you to save my life. But and I Frankenstein having 9 nominations is ridiculous. Um like the
I'm not
only
surprised. I'm fucking with it though. I was
out
fucking
of
with
all
that
of them, the
choice.
only ones I think the only ones that I really fuck with, I haven't seen The Secret Agent yet. Um, Begonia is like one of the only ones where I'm like, okay, I see why you're here.
Still
And
haven't seen
like
that yet. I really need to.
it's fucking amazing. But this one too, I can justify being there. But yeah, every movie I have seen, I'm like, where's that one? Where's that one? Why isn't that one there? This one was better than most of these fucking nominees. It's a boring ass lineup, which is why I think it's, only one of our picks is a Best Picture nominee and the other two aren't because I think all of the ones that we have are better than most of the fucking movies that are nominated. So, Sinners too, Sinners and Begonia. Those are the only two where I'm just like, okay, you both deserve to be here. The rest of you, I either haven't seen or don't think you deserve it. So, but in any case, yeah, this one was definitely it was a good time. It was very interesting, very well made. This is my first Joachim Trier movie, so I'm just I still want to see The Worst Person in the World. I've heard great things about that,
Oslo
but
31.
say what?
Oslo 31.
Yes,
It's like one of the
didn't he
first
do
movies.
Louder Than Bombs?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which I remember when that came out. But yeah, it was interesting. Like the editing was very good. The writing, everything, like all those hard cuts to black were always very like jarring ways to end the scene. Yeah, it was just an interesting kind of meditation on just like what having a famous father is like and fucking you touched on it, Matt, so it didn't take me as off guard as it would have, but it was still nuts seeing him pull out the fucking piano teacher and irreversible DVDs for the little kid. That shit was like, God damn, like what is your problem?
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, low key, that's gonna be me.
Yeah.
When I'm somebody's uncle or some shit like that, I'm gonna be like, hey, check these out, kid.
Oh
Monica
man.
Bellucci, baby.
Amen. Don't mix up your Monicas. Take it from someone who knows.
It would
The look
work. I
on his
just
face when he's like has the speakers and he's coming up the stairs, he's like, I love Stellan
I,
so much when he did
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård in this is fantastic as he always is. The fact that this is his first Oscar nomination ever is like kind of insane.
I
Like
will say
that.
it's like the first movie I've seen of his in a long time where he's not playing like an over exaggerated character type, if that makes sense. Like he's not playing, I mean, he's great in those roles, but like usually he's the villain. He's like, and granted, he's not a good guy in this, but he's like a human being finally. Like they gave him like a role where he's not like just,
he's more grounded.
yeah, he's not like playing because the ones I'm thinking of are Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is kind of old, but like still like obviously Dune. Uh, what else has he
Andor.
done recently? Huh?
Andor.
Yeah.
And okay, Andor, which
It's
I
so
know
funny. I've seen
he's good at
Stellan
that, but
Skarsgård.
he's also I know he's the villain.
I'm just
I've seen him in so many things.
so many things over so many years. And now every time I see him, that's like the first thing that I think of is Andor. He's just like he just knocked that role out of the park so much. But
I think of Nymphomaniac Volume 2.
Yeah. Just not
um
volume one.
Not Volume 1, no. The exact last 5 minutes of 2,
It's about two,
specifically.
where he again becomes the crazy stereotype of a
Right,
character.
yes.
yeah, well, God only knows what, he's gonna do in a Lars von Trier movie. But you never know what's gonna happen in one of those. Um But yeah, so I think this was a good pick. I think out of all the Best Picture nominees this year, this is definitely one of the better ones. That I can kind of justify it being there and stuff. Um, and all of the shout out to all the actors. Of course, Stellan was great. Renata Reinsve, Ella Fanning, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, who played the other sister, was great. Never heard of her in my life.
Same.
Would like to see her, get some more parts and stuff. Elle Fanning also, I gotta say, had a tough job in this movie. Like
Carrying
to
that ass.
being being an actor, playing an actor is one of the hardest things you can do because there's like multiple layers of you having to pretend and shit. And I think she did a really good job.
Love
And-
the part where they're partying and he just puts her on that little carriage and her like agents are running after her with her phone and stuff and she's just living life.
oh my God, also the fucking scene that just devastated me. Oh my God, it just broke my fucking heart. The scene where he goes to talk to his old cinematographer and he has to be like, yeah, sorry. He sees him fucking limping around and shit and like changes his mind. That scene just killed me. I mean, it was so fucking sad. Just that like, yeah, they want us to look at other people, and just that long pause like, so that's the way it is, huh? It's like, yeah, that's the way it is.
Funny
But then
enough,
it's cool.
We all know immediately what streaming service this movie's going to come out on.
Yep. But
When they said Netflix and they kept talking about like this movie being financed by Netflix, it threw me off. I was like, are they allowed to do that? Like,
yeah,
can
because this
Netflix
isn't a
sign off?
Netflix movie. I was like, wow, that's kind of nuts
Yeah.
that they're
I mean,
using
I
their
guess he's like
logo.
foreign, so he's like, come get me. Laws are different here, bitch.
didn't realize
Hey,
that.
that's what David Ellison said too.
It's also what Jeffrey Epstein said.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man.
There
You
you
know,
go.
I didn't realize until now, and you saying that is like this movie has very similar subject matter to your pick, Jackson, in terms of rekindling with old people that you created art with, and the effects of growing apart and the separation of fame and stuff has kind of affected these people. So,
But it's also cool because I was happy to see at the very end when they're finally making the movie, the cinematographer is sitting there with them. So I'm just like, oh shit, okay, he got him. Like, good. He's not having a compromise anymore because he was kind of having a compromise. Like he wanted to cast his daughter, but he had to cast Elle Fanning instead. And then, he ended up getting his daughter and he ended up getting the grandson to be in the movie like he wanted and just all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, he got to make the movie he wanted to make, which is nice.
I think the underlying theme of this movie too is Nepo baby.
Nipple.
Yeah, I guess so. Stellan
Nipple
Skarsgård
Papa.
he said he's become a nepo dad at this point.
That's
I
it's
think it's
funny because I didn't realize how fucked up it was when apparently his kids went, "Do you recognize yourself?" when they watched this movie, and he said, "No, no, 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 no." He was like, "What?" And they're like,
I mean, low key, I can definitely see Stellan Skarsgård giving
I
his
mean, it's probably
grandson
not as
Irreversible, a
exaggerated.
DVD of Irreversible. Like I can see him doing
Yeah, yeah,
that.
The whimsy that he has, but also like subdued, just fucking
trauma.
yeah, just god awfulness.
hmm but yet again, just his character, I think there's a lot of very real human like sides to him, like the way he can't fucking communicate with either of his daughters to save his life unless it's through his work. Like that's the only way he knows how,
When they
like
were like divvying up the items in the house, and she just sees the screenplay that she refused to read on the table, it was just like that's a fucking punch in the chest.
well, and
Read
that
the
scene
script.
that scene where she finally reads the script, was also very impactful, I thought, because we heard Elle Fanning read that scene earlier, but hearing her read it towards the end, again with the added context of everything, it just hit so much harder. And I was just like, okay, again, like it takes a minute for you to completely see the full picture on everything. But once you do, it's like, okay, I get what they're going for now, and I'm sure if I went back and saw this again, it would be almost a totally different movie, just because there's so many things you didn't know the first time.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
so
And
Yeah.
any
I
movie
mean,
that
well, I mean,
uses Berlioz, I'm here for. So
I'm glad I saw it because I think this would have been the one movie that I didn't see out of the lineup. Like, if I was going through the lineup to watch them, I probably would have just let this one go, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of glad that I chose it just because of that.
I'm glad you chose it because it was one of the ones I was most excited to watch. But as is the case with many fucking movies last year, it didn't get a goddamn wide release near me. So I had
Yeah,
to
same.
wait
yeah.
forever for it.
Didn't get that for me either. I don't think I got even. We got maybe one or two showings.
I'm just
It's
mad because Greensboro's not getting it until March 17th, and I'm like, why?
well, they're doing the Best Picture showcase, like the week of the Oscars, which is how I'm probably going to end up
Kind of
seeing The
funny
Secret
though,
Agent because I haven't seen that yet.
because almost everything's gonna be out streaming wise by the time the Oscars come out too. Because like Hamnet comes out Friday, so that's when I'm gonna see it.
Ooh.
F1's already out. I
So
have
what?
Marty Supreme, so I can rewatch that anytime I want.
There
So
you go.
Honestly, Marty Supreme is like, if that wins, I'll be happy, just as happy if one battle after another wins. Like, those are the two that I'm like, I'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
Anything else, I'll be a little skeptical of. Sinners, like, I'll understand. I'll resign myself to. But anything else, I'm gonna be like,
I mean, there's no universe where one battle after another doesn't win Best Picture at this point. It's going to happen.
it
So
fucking better.
I've kind of just like resigned myself to it. I'm like, okay,
accept it.
I,
Accept it.
so I've worn my shirt recently, and more people have actually got it, like in public. When I first wore it, nobody mentioned it whatsoever.
yeah.
But I wore it on set for the short film, and the actors eventually, like halfway through, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy wearing the one battle after another shirt." Like, and then we started talking and shit. And they're like, "Do you work here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm the editor." And they're like, "Oh shit, that's cool," And
Yeah.
but it's funny because they were like, "Yeah, that movie was crazy," and I was like, "Yeah," and then they were like, "Oh, and that's Benicio," and I was like, "Yeah, he was just so we were just talking about it," and I was like, "Hell yeah, people are
That's
watching this
cool.
movie."
Funny you
Granted, they were actors and it was a movie set, so they better have fucking known what I was wearing. But
I'm gonna before the Oscars, I am gonna rewatch it, just so I can like hopefully, you know, like it a
appreciate it
bit
a little
better.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
that I
which
think
I think I will, but we'll see.
you might have seen this. Jackson, I know you have not watched it, but first off, R.I.P. to Eric Dane. I just recently watched. I'm almost done watching Euphoria to catch up for the new season because I needed something to watch.
I'm
And
so tempted not to watch the new season for some reason.
heard
I like this. I didn't even like the second one. I just watched it because I was like, well, I'm intrigued. Like, I need to know what happens. I don't even like this, but I need to know.
in my dream last night, I got a T-shirt that said "One twink after another," and it's a photo of him, fucking Hunter Schafer, in that show. And I don't know why. It literally was in my head, and I woke up and thought about that, and then here you are talking about your shirt. So it was meant to be.
Now, do we have any final thoughts on Sentimental Value?
It's good.
Yeah. I mean,
It just upset me viscerally, and not in the way I think it wanted me to, but it still was. It didn't. It didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It earned its emotions. So
it did. It did. I'm gonna say this though. I prefer the other Elle Fanning movie this year,
Which one?
Predator Badlands.
That's what I thought. Yes, I also like that one better.
I haven't seen.
But yeah. But I mean, I did not dislike this movie. I just, and again, under other circumstances, I might have enjoyed it more and paid more attention to it in more detail. But alas, I was distracted. And that if anybody is wondering why I was not as detailed about it, that is why. But
That is a tale for another time. But
tale for my
now,
comedy special.
Yeah,
yes.
which I'm mad
But
'cause-
now,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Well, speaking of Begonia, Stavos or whatever his fucking name is was at the Comedy Zone, and I'm so mad because he was.
Wait, he was?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Fuck." I'm
Damn,
mad.
that would have been a good one to go to.
Yeah, better than
Yeah.
Like,
Nathan
not just for
Fielder.
Begonia, but like, I kind of, he's an interesting person.
Or
You know, he fumbled Rachel Sennett, or you know, however you say her last name.
to know.
What?
Yeah, they were dating, and he fumbled her by trying to open the relationship.
Yeah, because he's a fucking idiot.
I'm like, whoa, dude, whoa, that's like the dumbest
Hey, wait,
fumble ever.
maybe he couldn't fuck her right, and he wanted her to get fucked proper. So
He
she
clearly
got
was doing
Josh
a good job if
Hutcherson.
she didn't want to do that.
There's several layers to that are just crazy to me. Wow.
She forgot
Fucking
how to wipe, so she needed Josh Hutcherson to teach her how to wipe. And Stavros was like, "Oh, I want that," and she was like, "Nah."
There's a scene in I Love
Sorry, I
LA.
know that didn't make sense, Jackson.
not even a little bit.
In her show, I Love LA, she
Right.
gets Josh Hutcherson to wipe her ass because she didn't wipe on purpose, and she wanted him to go to
Ah.
the bathroom and fuck her.
Yep. And there's also a scene where she gets mad at him for watching porn, and I was like, I wonder if that was like something that they had going on in their relationship, because this like, clearly is about her life before being like super famous. So,
Yeah.
hmm
but anywho,
Um,
slightly off topic, but on topic because it's about an Oscar nominated
yes,
movie.
there's a
Which,
connection
as long
there.
as it's Oscar nominated relevant,
As long as it's within the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it works. But now that we have traveled to Norway, we got to travel a little bit back in time, back over to America, back to 1940s New York, all the way to the opening night of a little movie, of a little play, a little musical that you may have heard of. But I will say this here on this is the 3 for 3 podcast, not the 3 for 3 exclamation point podcast. Because any podcast that ends in exclamation point is not worth watching. But you know what is worth watching?
I will say this: despite all that, we're a 12-carat hit, and we're also a 12-carat piece of shit.
Yes, I give you my word as a cocksucker that this is a very good. It deserves to win best screenplay for that line alone. I'm sorry. But yes, my pick this week, Blue Moon, uh, directed by Richard Linklater, starring the one and only Ethan Hawke. And if you can, ladies and gentlemen, picture this.
But you got to tilt the frame down so you can see short Ethan Hawke.
Yes, he's a short king in this one.
Yeah, the meme from this one for me is literally Sam. I'm just like, they're like, short Ethan Hawke isn't real. He can't hurt you. And then just a picture of Blue Moon. Blue Moon just sitting at the bar.
Yep.
I swear to God, for the first 20 minutes, I thought he was just sitting down. I really did not realize he was that short. And then
I
saw
guarantee
review
you
that.
they made the bar really fucking high and like fucked up the distortions on that just to make him look like small in the like close-ups and mediums. I don't
They
know
were
what they
using
did for the wide.
Yeah, they were using trickery and camera angles and forced perspective and all that, I'm sure.
I was watching it and
But
I saw your review, Matt, and I was like, "What?" And then I looked and I was like,
You didn't realize like how bad. Like I noticed the moment he walked into that fucking bar. I said his head is way too low. Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke's not short. He's tall. What is going on
The
here?
wide shots is where it was the craziest. But anyway,
Yes, I agree. Yes. Anyways, go. Sorry, my bad. Just
picture
ahead.
this, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1940s New York, and 1943 to be precise. And you are legendary Broadway composer Lorenz Hart. And your old partner just opened up his brand new show. So, hey, that's cool. You know, what's wrong with that? Well, there's a couple of things. For starters, your old songwriting partner, not just any songwriter. He happens to be Richard Goddamn Rogers of Rogers and Hammerstein, formerly of Rogers and Hart. But you two split up because, you know, you're an eccentric, lonely drunk man who can't really get your job done anymore. And
"This is on wrong."
that musical that he's opening tonight, well, it's not just any musical. It just happens to be Oklahoma exclamation point.
Oklahoma, hooray, hooray!
Where the wind goes sweeping on the plain. Yeah, all that good stuff that we've all come to know and love. But there is one man who does not love it, and that is Mr. Lorenz Hart. He is jealous. He is bitter that his old songwriting partner, Richard Rogers, has created with his new songwriting partner, Oscar Hammerstein, this legendary musical, this ultimate crowd pleaser that will go on to be one of the greatest musicals of all time. So, on the opening night of Oklahoma, Mr. Lorenz Hart, he goes to a restaurant. He goes to Sardi's, and he, just commiserates with his friend Bobby Cannavale, the bartender, and he's crushing on this much younger girl played by Margaret Qualley, and he's just waiting for Rogers and Hammerstein and the whole rest of the Oklahoma cast and crew to come by for this party, and he's got to try to save face, make it look like he's not bitter or embarrassed that he's been left in the dust, and he's coming to terms with who he is and where he's at in his life and how his career is kind of on the downturn. And unfortunately, in real life, he died 7 months after the events of this film. And so it's kind of just his last little I don't know, moment in the spotlight here. There's all kinds of stuff. Andrew Scott is in this as well as Richard Rogers, and all kinds of other insane thing goes on. It is before I turn it over to either of you, I just got to say right now, fuck this movie. I love it. I love it so goddamn much. It is hands down one of the best movies of 2025. Should be nominated for so many more things than it is. I'm happy it got the 2 nominations that it did. In my heart, I don't give a shit who wins 2 weeks from now. Ethan Hawke is the winner in my heart. He deserves to win the goddamn Oscar for this movie. I think it should win Best Screenplay. I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture. The whole thing is just such a beautiful, beautiful movie. This was my second time watching it. I saw it in the theater. It was absolutely transcendent. One of the best experiences I've had in a theater in a long time, aside from the old bitch behind me who was complaining about me, up until the end of the movie. But
What was she complaining about?
so I fucking
Jackson, you cannot pull your dick out for short Ethan Hawke.
Why? God damn it! This is America. I should be able to pull it out whenever I want. Fuck. No. She was. She was. It was a weird thing where I got to the theater. I was in a rush. I picked my seat without really, paying attention to who was around me. There was an old lady who was on the same row as me, like 2 seats down. There was like one seat in between us, right? It's a small ass theater. Like you're gonna be near somebody. I didn't think it was a big deal. It's not like we were sitting right next to each other. We're the only 2 people on the row, and there's only one seat between us. I don't think it that weird, you know? But she, after 5 minutes of me sitting down, like gets up, moves to the handicap seat in the back, like just to get away from me. And I hear her grumbling, like sitting right next to me. And I'm just like, okay, lady. And she fucking, I'm like, you're really gonna sit all the way in the fucking back row in the handicap seat just because you're the one making it weird. Like I'm not weirded out, fuck you. And so 2 hours go by, the movie ends. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's one of the best experiences. I'm just absolutely moved by it. I'm just, I was transported to another world. And then I get up, I leave the theater. She's still sitting back there. And this is 2 hours later. And I hear her say again, sitting right next to me. I'm like, bitch, you're still thinking about this. Like, God damn. It ain't that fucking big a deal, you miserable old fucking bag. Like, shit. I was like, the theater etiquette is not great
You're Dick
here.
Rogers and she's Larry Hart.
Okay, so I don't know if I brought this up, and this is going to be related just because it's an Oscar nominee at this point. When I saw Frankenstein, right? I'm sitting there. The movie starts. You guys have seen this, right? You guys have both seen Frankenstein?
hmm
Okay. This fucking like maybe 30 to 40-year-old woman comes in with her mom, who's like definitely in her like late 60s, 70s, maybe 80s.
I remember when Mary Shelley was alive.
They're literally like coming up the fucking stairs, and she's like, "This isn't the right movie." Because it's the opening when he's like fucking people up on the fucking ship, and she's like, and then literally the lady, she's like, "Mom, just come on, this is the right theater." And literally the lady comes up to me, of course, because they want to sit in my row. And they're like, "Is this Frankenstein?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is Frankenstein." And it's funny because I'm like, "This is the book Frankenstein." I was like, "Yes, he fucks people up." And so I was really happy in the beginning of the movie because I was like, "They're finally doing it." And then they're like, "Is this the fucking Frankenstein?" Because they're expecting like Boris Karloff type shit, I think.
Right.
And it doesn't get there till like 40 minutes in. Anyways, she sits down. Her mom is like, "No, this isn't the right movie," and literally fucking leaves. And then like 10 minutes later, comes back into the theater and like sits down and is like pissed off about. It's like she's like, "This isn't Frankenstein."
Probably went and asked the people at the front, you know, like, is that Frankenstein? And they had to explain to her, like, what a wow.
That was sorry. So I had similar reactions in the sense that we had old women just being insane and disturbing the whole fucking.
Don't even get me started on my screening of Is This Thing On? That was one of the worst theater experiences I've had in a minute with all of the fucking
Were they
terrible
asking,
audience.
"Is it on?"
That
I
would
can't
be,
hear it.
that would be
I think it's
hilarious.
on.
But that's a subject for another day. Anyway,
Sorry. Yes.
fucking, I absolutely adore this movie beyond belief. Top 3 of the year for me. Can't say enough about it. I'll get more into it later, but I'll turn it over to you guys first. What did you both think?
Well,
Well, I saw this like at 9 a.m. I like woke up, threw it on, said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna watch it." So I was very tired. I felt borderline like hallucinogenic at points of this movie, like when he's just walking down. Like I felt like him in the beginning of the movie when he's just walking down the alleyway, just singing right before he dies.
I'm gonna say another movie that ends at or starts at the ending.
Yep.
So
Um, and I just felt that way deeply the entire movie, and I really hated how much I like fucked with his character, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, you should, but like, you're like, wow, why am I relating too much to like the guy who's getting shit on? And honestly, one of my favorite people in the world is Bobby Cannavale. Like, he is so. It's funny because we're going to talk about his wife later on in the show.
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
Yep. But he always surprises me because like he can do the stereotypical "I'm a mob boss badass," and then he can do like he and dad's like "I'm a dumbass dad" like type shit, and you believe all of his characters, all of his versions of it. He was in Only Murders on the Building like this season, and he did both dumbass like dad and mob boss at the same time, which I thought was hilarious. And then he does this where he's just like a normal fucking dude at the bar, like I don't know, just
my
him
bartender.
talking to Ethan Hawke and their conversations were like, "This is what I wish my bartender was like," type shit. And he's like, "Get these flowers off my bar," and shit like that. I was like, I don't know. And then Richard Linklater, like, I don't know if we haven't gotten to this yet. He apparently waited a very long time to make this movie. Like they did constant readings over the years, and he would be like, "No, we're not ready yet." And I respect the wait because it's not the same thing as Boyhood, where he like filmed it over the course of several
Because
years.
this isn't a fucking gimmick. He actually put effort into this movie.
I love Boyhood. We're not gonna fight about Boyhood right now.
Each passing year, I hate that movie more and more, and I didn't like it to begin with.
this
I
Jackson,
haven't
you're
seen it
starting to
since it
discover
came
more and
out,
more of Linklater, and that is
but
the
I
most
have it
tragic
on
Linklater there is.
Criterion, so
Yeah.
don't fuck with Boyhood. Sorry, Jackson. But I will say this: I'm glad he waited that long because like Ethan Hawke really needed the emotional mature. I don't think he could have pulled this off like even 5 years ago. Like this had to happen now. But I noticed it seemed different than most Richard Linklater movies in a way that I was like the writing just seems different. And then when I saw that it was written by like this guy Richard Kapowski or
Robert Kaplow.
Thank you, Robert Kaplow. I got the initials right. I was like, oh, it's not because I kind of honestly I half expected it to say Richard Linklater and Ethan Hawke like as the writers. But
Because
then
that's usually how it is in his movies.
yeah, and then when I saw it with somebody else, I was like, oh, that explains a lot because this felt a little different.
Well, it's funny because this is his first screenplay, but he wrote the book of Me and Orson Welles, which Richard Linklater turned into a movie, so there's a connection there.
Hmm.
Hell yeah, I did not know that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. There are scenes that just came out of nowhere and moved me as like a writer and shit. So I was like, okay, hell yeah. Like, I feel like we kind of went through the writer director like dilemmas in this like lineup so far. And I really didn't know all that much about Oklahoma, so now I feel like I am well versed on my history of Rogers and Hammerstein and Oklahoma, despite this being about the guy who was not a part of that group. Now we need the sequel where Ethan Hawke also plays whatever partner Hammerstein had before.
God damn it, yes, that's what I want. He's just at the bar across the street.
That one's called Blood Moon.
blood movie. Go.
which happened
Red
last night. Yeah, but
Room.
yes, I don't know. I did fuck with this movie a lot. I did not see it in theaters, and I kind of wanted to. There's a few movies I missed last year, and that was one of them. That I just wanted to go to support it, if that makes sense. But also, I was working at the theater at the time, so I wouldn't have supported it whatsoever by getting a free ticket. However, I wanted to be in the audience. But I'm glad it got nominated because, like, if Ethan Hawke doesn't win, I cannot foresee him getting nominated in the near future, unfortunately. And I mean, I hope he does. Like, I like the man a lot, but he needs to fucking win for this one.
Agreed.
And I'm gonna bring up one last thing before I turn it over to Sam. I sent you guys the GQ Vogue thing where he's playing Jenga.
I saw that.
They're like, do you want to eat? Do you like to eat in bed? And he's just like, I gotta put the glasses. He puts the glasses. And he's like, I like to eat in bed. And I'm just like, God damn it, Ethan.
He's like, I'm having incredibly vulgar thoughts right now, and I'm just like, low key. I can see his character in this movie saying the same shit.
Yeah. It was like this, like the way he just did it. I was like, okay. Also, I realized because Elle Fanning, I think, also did it, but I noticed they both had drinks, and I was like, this man has had more than one drink.
He's out here living his best life, man. God bless him.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the movies I'm gonna pick eventually, Maya Hawke like narrated it, but they show pictures of Ethan Hawke, and it's called like Video Store, I think. But yeah, I just fuck with Ethan Hawke's whole personality. Do you see his Sydney Sweeney Variety Actors on Actors?
I haven't seen it yet, but I like know of it.
Yeah, where she says like, "Oh, I still get stage fright," and he's like, "You know what that is?" And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Inexperience." And then her face is like, he's like, every actor should. He was going. His elaboration was like every actor should like do theater, be on the stage. Like in a movie, you get 85 takes. In a play, you get one take every night.
Right.
And I was like, and then he explained that to her. So I was like, bro was still like giving. He was giving knowledge. He didn't care.
Bro's got wisdom. Bro is He's
and he wasn't like judging. He wasn't like fuck you or anything like that because I know her controversies at the moment. But you know, like he was still just talking to her like a person. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
That's good.
He's the actor's dad. Yeah. You know, he's every actor's father.
Well, one thing real quick, and then I'll turn it over to Sam. The story that I heard recently was there have been times apparently where he and Maya Hawke were just walking in public together, and somebody comes up and is like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. Please, can I take a picture? And he turns around and he's like, hey, I'm not doing that today. I'm with my kid. And the guy goes, I have no idea who the fuck you are. I want to talk to Robin from Stranger Things. And he's like, it's very humbling, very quick. But anyway, Sam.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Because I got a beautiful feeling that everything's going my way. And when that is going on, I must stress to y'all the beauty in everything. Men, women, the smell of cigar shops as he or Smoke would approve of. And everything about this goddamn movie is so fucking just well witty and just like just presentation wise it just is like perfect because usually like play settings for more recent movies you can just very clearly tell that this is a play and as a movie, but I think this felt like a movie first to me and I could see it being a play in the future. And just the despicableness of some of these characters. And well, while I'm here and short, I gotta pull out my big white dick and crack it open.
Now there's two white monsters on the screen.
Just like you love Larry, and then he does like shit where he manipulates Bobby into switching the cards on the flowers so he could have the better flowers, and it's like, man, you are not a good person, but also I can't help but loving you, and I can't help but just feel your destruction and your just inept like ability to get the job done, but like you just are constantly say that you're ready and you have ideas and you throw them out and you're just going crazy and you want to do your fucking Mongolian Marco Polo play, and it just is like so fucking good and interesting. And then you get to the point where he's in the coat check room with Margaret Qualley and you just see that just sheer destruction slowly seep into his face when he realizes that she was never going to love him like he loved her, and which is the whole fucking point of his play, Marco Polo, so it really is fitting. Um, and so I don't know. It just hits in a way that I am so proud of Linklater for being able to do whatever the fuck he wants at this point, and I think he's actually making the movies that he always should have made. Frankly, I think all of his movies are great, and I have a special place for each of them in my heart. But I think after Everybody Wants Some, he just turned a new leaf, and I love the leaf that he turned because it's just everything I see since is just interesting and well made, and he made a fucking foreign film this year, so like, goddamn.
Well, I want to see that one. I haven't seen that one yet. The
I've
fact that he's
seen
made
it's really good.
movies.
If you're a movie fan, you can't help but love that movie. It just will make you smile.
I mean, I will say Richard Linklater is one of those directors, in my opinion, who's going to go down in like history as like not just a director, but like borderline a fucking philosopher. Like this man has patience. He's got like depth, like to the point, like where he can make School of Rock and then make something like this. But then also he's made like, what was it, Waking Life?
Waking Life, yeah.
And
Scanner
like
Dark.
that movie is underrated in my opinion as hell because it was his first rotoscope movie. But like also that movie has some fucking insane thoughts in it. He just puts on paper and lets you live with. And I mean, Boyhood is one thing. I know Jackson, you don't like it. Like people will talk about that one, but then there's like all of his other movies that like just
Slackers. Uh,
yeah, Slacker is another flaw. Like,
Confused.
well, that's the thing is Waking Life to me is like all of his movies in one because it's Slackers, Scanner Darkly. They literally have the characters from Before Sunset and Before Sunrise in that trilogy in the movie, like Ethan Hawke and other characters in the movie. But Slacker, actually, I think he takes a whole scene from Slacker and kind of reworks it into Waking Life. So I'm just like, bro is gonna go
Oh,
down as
here's
like a
Frankly,
thinker.
that Apollo 11 movie that's animated, I enjoyed the fuck out of that too.
I that one seemed like a quick little just I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna work out some shit through my life, for my life, and just make it. Jackson can't watch it because the person shall not be named for Jackson is in that movie. So
Oh, that motherfucker who I can't see, who yeah, has had two fucking giant box office bombs in a row, isn't as big of a movie star as we fucking thought he was.
Hey,
he's the running away from Jack or what the running away from Jackson man.
Yeah. You better
Linklater
run away
found
from me, you
him
fuck.
and made him famous with Everybody Wants Some, okay?
That is true.
He did, and that's why I like. That's why I always liked him as an actor. That's why I'm like,
But I will say this, you guys are very right in the sense that, well, and this is a running theme because this is at least the third time I've mentioned this recently. Richard Linklater, for a while, was someone I, again, was not the biggest fan of as a director. It was very mixed, but because School of Rock was a childhood movie, loved that. Last Flag Flying, I enjoyed that movie. I don't know if anybody fucking remembers it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Wasn't a great movie, but it was a pretty good
well,
movie.
if you see the last detail first and then you watch that, it actually makes that movie 10 times better.
Yeah, it was kind of like a quasi sequel to that, but not officially.
It it's not
But I
official, but
never,
like it. If you
but
watch
I,
both movies, there's no fucking way it's not official.
yeah, but but I never was like, again, despised Boyhood, always have. That movie gets worse every year for me. And then I'm not the biggest fan of Dazed and Confused. I just think that's also a very overrated movie. So I was also kind of like, I've always had kind of mixed to negative feelings about him, but then it's like, okay, this is the first movie of his I've seen in a long time. And this, just like I was talking about with Guy Ritchie last week, I'm like, okay, now he's starting to win me over a bit because no matter what, even if I never see another movie from him that I like ever again, and I'm sure I will, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't even really care because he made this. I'm just like, you've always got this, dog. Like, this is amazing. And then Nouvelle Vague, which is also a great movie. He had a great fucking year last year. Just dropped two bangers within the span of like a month and just like walked away. And you're also right that like one thing I have always respected about him is he can change his spots very easily. Like, he can make something like this which is completely different from Dazed and Confused, which is completely different from School of Rock, which is completely different from, you
Bernie.
know,
Black.
yeah, but Bernie or like Boyhood or like you said, Apollo 10 and a half, Sam, or A Scanner Darkly, or whatever it is, he is very capable of like changing his spots and like not just keeping the same style. Yeah, I want to see those
I was about to
movies so
say
bad.
the before trilogy, like that's when I saw that in like high school, I was like, this man has my heart.
Everybody,
He can do no
that's what
wrong.
everybody says is if you don't like Richard, like watch those movies and you will like
It'll make you
understand him.
And I
appreciate
watched
Julie
Before
Depley.
Midnight first by accident, by the way.
Oh
Like I
wow.
what because it came out and I was like, oh, Before Midnight, it's a new Richard Linklater movie. I did not know there was two before that, so I just threw it on and I was so fucking moved by it. And then I found out there was two before it, so then I rewatched. Like I went back, watched Before Sunset, Before Sunrise,
Yeah.
and then this again.
Every
And I was like,
time
ugh.
every time I've ever said how I like if I ever said I didn't like Richard Linklater, that was the first thing somebody said was watch Before Sunrise. I swear to God, like, you will, and I really want to see those movies,
It'll
but
give you a
here,
new appreciation for Julie Depley in Synecdoche, New York.
yeah.
Yeah.
But fucking this movie, I just gotta say, first of all, so incredibly well written. I mean, I really think it deserves to win Best Screenplay. Every line in this is like a 10 out of 10. So witty, so sharp. I mean, I 100% believe that this dude talked like this, and everybody else in the movie feels so three-dimensional. You get such a sense of their relationships with each other, his relationships with whether it's, Bobby Cannavale or Margaret Qualley, or even the smaller characters like the writer sitting at
Chuckles.
in the booth, and his relationship with Rogers and just like and it's Sam, you touched on it. You sympathize with him, but you don't at the same time. Where it's like, I do feel bad for you, but also like those scenes where he's talking to Rogers and he's just like, okay, I feel bad that you're being snubbed by your old partner, but also I get it because he's like, I don't want to put up with you being so drunk you couldn't get out of bed again, you couldn't write the songs, I had to go find you, you could barely even write the lyrics to the I'm like, I get it. Putting up with
Gets him there.
somebody
He
who
leaves
just
12
like,
minutes in to go get
say
another
what?
cigar. When he does get him there, he leaves 12 minutes in to go get another cigar.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get it, like you put up with that for enough time and eventually you're like, I gotta move on because this guy's dragging me down, and he's trying to be nice and offer him like an olive branch to help write a few new songs for the revival and everything, and immediately just starts taking advantage of it, trying to get his foot back in the door. And, so you kind of you relate to Rogers as well in those scenes. And it was interesting for me because like as a, lifelong, theater fan and all that kind of stuff. I did not know I did not know that Richard Rodgers had another songwriting partner before Oscar Hammerstein. That was news to me. I did not know that. So I was fascinated to learn more about who Lorenz Hart was and learn more about their dynamic and how he changed. And because it's funny because I've been, a theater kid my whole life, but it's funny because the way I always look at it when I explain it to people, and Matt, you may be able to relate to this, is it's like being raised in a certain like religious or ethnic background, like being raised like Catholic or Jewish or whatever it is, and it's like you were raised in it and it's a big part of your identity, but you can't necessarily name, like, if you're Catholic, you can't name all the saints, you can't name all of the popes, you can't name all of the whatever, but it's still a big part of like a lot about it because you were raised in it and shit. It's an important part to you or whatever. That's kind of me for the theater where it's like big part of my life, know a lot of the people, but there's also a lot of stuff that like I couldn't tell you every song in every musical or anything like that. So, but it was still like so I didn't know that I'd never heard of Lorenz Hart. I didn't know that, so it was interesting to learn about it. It was interesting to kind of like find out, oh, I didn't know like and Rogers wrote Pal Joey. I didn't know they did, uh, My Funny Valentine. That's like, I was like, oh, I know that song. I didn't know they wrote that together. That's interesting. So it was kind of cool, just learning more about that. And God, the setting. The production design and the lighting and the cinematography were goddamn flawless, and the costume design and everything about it, it really just made you feel like you were back there in the 40s, everything just felt so authentic. And I gotta give full props to Richard Linklater for directing the shit out of this, for making sure every last fucking shot, every last moment was just precise, having full command over every fucking scene, because one of the hardest things to do as a director is one of these kinds of movies where the whole thing is just in one location. It's so goddamn hard because you have to try so hard with the camera angles and the blocking and everything to not make it feel stale. You got to know exactly like
Full awareness.
how long do we have him sit at the bar, and how many different times do we cut to this different angle just to keep it visually engaging for the audience, and that's so, so, so hard to do. And he fucking knocked it out of the park. And this movie really did make me like, he moved up quite a few notches in my book as a director just from this. Because I'm like, bro, I didn't know you had this in you. Like I've seen stuff from you before that I enjoyed, but I didn't know you had this in you, like truly.
Visual comedy of him like going up to the urinals and then scooching over to the like kid one that's the lowest one on just absolutely killed me. And then like him walking up to Knuckles and just staring straight up at him. And then you like I don't know what they did with his eyes, but the way his eyes like he looked like a demon at points with just how like soulless his eyes were.
I was about to say his eyes were wide as hell. And do you think Ethan Hawke had a good time looking up at people for once?
Probably.
Maybe so.
The only person he's used to looking up at is Uma Thurman.
That's right. But
I actually don't know the height difference on them. I could be totally wrong about that, but
she's pretty
I
tall.
thought they're about the same height.
In the early 2000s, he was looking up to Angelina Jolie.
Well, there you go.
Oh, she's only 5'11". I think Ethan Hawke's like 6 something.
For a woman, that's pretty tall.
Okay, Jackson. Damn, I think that one wasn't even cut that.
What he said wasn't bad. It was just the way that came out.
Actually, no, he's 5'10", so he was looking up at her.
Women are typically shorter than men. For a woman, 5'11" is tall. That's just a factual statement. What the fuck?
I'm fucking.
Hey, we find beauty in all things. Men,
There you
women,
go.
cigars, Margaret Qualley with a blonde hairdo.
Yeah, which
Traveling 30 miles to find her Cooper. Well, really, it's the fucking anti-Cooper that came out 25 years ago. Did some things
not
to
that
her
Cooper.
and dipped, and that's why she's infected with the
Not that
spot.
Cooper. You don't want to fuck around with that Cooper. That's well, it's only going to end badly. You're going to produce a demon child who runs over a little kid while Harry Dean Stanton watches in horror. But which nobody wants that. But yes, again, every scene in the movie is just like packs a wallop, whether it's, making you laugh, making you cry, making you feel whatever the fuck, Like I said, full command over every scene. Absolutely loved it. Just the razor sharp dialogue, the subject matter. Again, as a theater kid, I was interested in like learning more about this, and anything that has to do with like, Broadway or theater or anything, I'm gonna find interesting. And it and Ethan Hawke, I could talk for 5 hours straight about how genius his performance is. It's one of the best performances. I think it's the best performance he's ever given. I mean, like truly, it's one of the best I've ever seen, and he deserves to win. He's not going to, but he deserves it, in my opinion. Just absolutely. I was watching it this time, and there was not 1 second where I thought, "Oh, this is Ethan Hawke playing a character." I was just like, "No, that's Lorenz Hart." I wasn't even thinking about it. He's so fucking good. And Matt, I think you could be right to a degree. Like they made this at the right time together. Like this was the moment that they needed to make it. I'm glad that they waited until they were ready. And yeah, everybody, Bobby Cannavale, Andrew Scott, Margaret Qualley, all just, knock it out of the park. And just the little moments again. It's funny, like in a movie like this, there are Easter eggs for people, of like some of the people that come in, the little kid being Stephen Sondheim, like they don't say it, but if you know, because I'm like, yeah, I know that he was Oscar Hammerstein's protege and shit. So as soon as they say like, oh, this is little Stevie, he's my neighbor, I'm like, that's Stephen Sondheim. And then random at like George Roy Hill coming in and getting an autograph from him.
Okay, that's the one I really noticed when I was like, they're like, this George Hill guy is a director. I went, what? I was like, what?
That's how you know it's real, because I'm like, they wouldn't throw one in that random just as an Easter egg. I'm like, this must have he must have really gotten his autograph or something, because
Yeah,
that's
like at least
too
known
random
that
of a
in some
poll.
way. Yeah,
I think my
That's
favorite part of
crazy.
the whole movie, that staging wise, was when they're on the stairs and Dick just needs to go upstairs to celebrate, but Ethan's pulling him back down and just bringing him back to his level, and just the dissentment and just absolute fucking hatred for each other that they have, but also the love, and like Dick is willing to admit, I wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for you, and being 22 and meeting someone who is so creatively inventive is gonna open you up in a way that um I think once it gets out of your hands and out of your control, there you can't help but kind of like drop the pieces that are below what you need, and so it's just a shame that Larry was the person that he had to drop to succeed even further in life. So
Yeah, and then just that line he has where he's like, I don't like eulogies, especially my own, as he's talking about all the successes they had in the past, and it's just like,
he's like, I'm
yeah,
still right
it's
here.
sad.
It sounds like you're writing it, and that's
Hmm.
why. And then he just throws his arms up and shouts like, "I'm alive. I'm here."
And then just his fucking again, just the absolute just distress in Ethan Hawke's voice, but he's just like, you did not write one fucking word of that musical. Like, you can attack me all you want, but don't attack my work. I was like, again, just the emotion was so real. And the devastation. It killed me the first time, and it killed me this time when he's in the coat room with Margaret Qualley, and she just says that line from earlier, I love you, Larry, just not in that way. It's like, poor guy, he just,
But when he comes out though, he's still playful, and he's like, "Oh, you got some dick in your hand," and that kind of stuff. And that part killed me because like
yeah.
even through the hatred and just like unacceptance of who he is as a person, I think he was a person who could show face really well. And I think that's what allowed him to get through doors, allowed him to get drinks from Bobby when Bobby said at the beginning, "You're cut off. You're not allowed to drink," and that's all he does. The whole fucking thing is drink. And then, but I love the line where he's like, "And get me like a ginger ale or whatever, the soda water, and then I can decide which of the two to drink." And stare
Hmm.
at the other one longingly, and I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna drink the whiskey, and you're just gonna stare at the fucking soda water."
He says it's a visual poem,
Yeah.
which I
I
fucking
the
love.
writing in the like you said, Jackson, the writing in this movie is fucking on point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the best screenplay from any movie last year. I stand by that. But yeah, this fucking movie, like genuinely, I can't say enough about like how much I loved it, how brilliant I think it is, how much I look, I'm happy it got what it got. I really wasn't expecting it to get anything. I'm happy it got at least two nominations. I think it should have gotten way more than that. That's just me personally, but I just every fucking second of this thing, I just both times watching it, I was just locked in. I mean, nothing could kind of break me away from it, and yeah, I just think just bravo, Richard Linklater. You really fucking knocked it out of the park. Shout out to the GOAT, Ethan Hawke, for, giving the best performance of his career, which is saying something. And just, everybody involved. Bobby Cannavale being lovable as ever, and, just all of it. Just
That's something that I find interesting because I know the two of you had seen each of these right before we picked them for the episode.
yep.
Okay, um, out of
Well,
everything, or
I wait. I mean, Blue Moon, I watched like immediately, and then Sentimental, I watched immediately. If Had Legs, I Kick You, I watched like in the middle of last week. Rewatched.
because like
Only rewatched.
I hadn't seen any of these three before this episode, but having seen all of the best actors other than this one, for months I still was championing Ethan Hawke, and I was like, he deserves this. He better win. He's who I want to win, even though I hadn't seen the movie. And now that I've seen it, it's just even more so the case. And so I agree with you, Jackson.
I'm glad we're all in agreement on that. He is the people's champ.
He is
That
my John Brown.
yes. But yeah, are we all wrapped up on Blue Moon?
Just as
Yes.
long as you don't call it Blue Moon, because you know the
You know,
original
I
guy
should have
said
painted my ass blue and then mooned you guys. That would have been a
it.
good bit.
That would have been a nice move.
Here's the real blue moon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I can't
well,
even think of what he said it was
I
called.
should have gotten a blue moon. Fuck.
there
Something
you
about
go.
men
There's too many
being
bits I'm
untrustworthy.
thinking now. But no, yeah, I really fucked with this movie. I love Richard Linklater, so just
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he's at a point now where what he makes is just going to be great. And what he wants to make and how he wants to make it rather than some fucking goddamn bullshit like Where'd You Go, Bernadette, where it's just a goddamn fucking job to fund the next one. No. Low budget, low stakes, low reward, art forever.
Damn right.
Amen.
But now it's been quite a journey, this Oscar special. We've been in Norway, we've been to 1940s New York, and now, bless you,
Thank you.
now we must take one more stop on our journey. We must go all the way to Montauk out of New York. And boys, let me just tell you this. If I had legs, I would definitely kick you. Oh, wait, I do.
I was gonna say, if Larry Hart had an extra 2 to 3 inches of legs, he could probably kick you under the table, but he doesn't.
Okay, I want to see the version of Blue Moon where Conan O'Brien plays him.
Now, that would be something else.
Short Conan O'Brien can't hurt you.
Short Conan O'Brien. That would be very jarring.
Picture this, folks. You're Mary Bronstein. You're a child. Your fucking hamster gets ran over by a car, and that scars you for your fucking life. And then, boom, many years later, you're married to what many would say the great Ronald Bernstein, who is Bronstein, sorry, who a lot of people credit for the Safdies' actual goodness. But yes, both of you decide let's start directing. Let's start writing. Let's start going crazy. So you make a movie back in 2008. It's chill. Nobody really kind of acknowledges it. So you got to come back, and you got to come back hard. And you got to come back with such a extreme that it's going to be one of the most uncomfortable things you watch all year. Because that child is one of the most annoying goddamn things to happen since the Babadook. And puts you in the shoes of our leading lady, Miss Rose Byrne, the goat. And she is just miserable as fuck. And she has a child that she doesn't love, that she doesn't want. She likes to think she loves her. She likes to think she's a good mother, but no, she's not, because she was never meant to be a mother, because this was not her child she was supposed to mother. We'll get into that later, because I have a clip to play y'all that is Christian Slater's reaction to the end of this movie, because extreme Christian Slater jump scare. I really thought it was Tim Heidecker the whole time he was on the phone, and then when he popped up, I was like, hold a minute.
I just have to say, I can't believe neither of you, the whole movie, recognize his voice is just as clear as a bell to me.
Literally until he popped up, I was like,
the whole time I'm like, that's Christian Slater.
This is Christian Slater's reaction at the end of the movie. Yes, because she is besties to a degree with none other than Rakeem Myers, aka ASAP fucking Rocky, coming in hard. And there's a giant hole that needs to be filled. Whether it's the hole in the ceiling, the hole in Rose Byrne, or the hole in her kid's tummy of the tube that needs to be yanked out. A hole is going to be filled, a hole is going to heal, a hole's never really going to heal. You're going to think it's healed, but the hole's still in there somewhere. Still in there, just fucking pulsating and fucking like warping your perception of reality, and the mold is seeping into your pores, and you just start going fucking crazy. And I don't know. I thought this movie the whole time she was going to get into an accident and get paralyzed, but apparently that was Blue Moon. So this movie, you just had to just go with it, take it on its ride. And then by the end, you're just a fucking shell of a human being on the beach looking at Rose Byrne trying to kill herself. So, yeah.
Boy, that was a fucking picture of this. God damn, Sam.
I mean, that is the movie.
Wrong, no? That is the movie.
I was going to say, that is the movie.
Fair enough.
You are a therapist who is also seeing a therapist who works at your same job, so it's kind of unethical, so...
No, have you seen the show Shrinking? That happens quite often, apparently.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, all the time. Therapists see other therapists all the time.
And usually it's people
but
they
is
know
it the
and
one
trust.
that you work right next to a room over?
It's called lack of commute, saving gas.
She's trying to be economical.
She can't.
Also, she wants that Conan dick.
She does.
You know.
She wants that Conan and her O'Brien.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, this movie, you just get so like content and like okay, and then there will be shit like that lady who just leaves her baby and runs away for like days, and it's just like, well, this is fucked, and then it's like fine again for a little while, and then like ASAP Rocky falls through the fucking hole after they realize that it really wasn't a pipe bursting, so like what caused the hole, which as Jackson once
Okay, Jackson, you don't get this joke. Fuck, I want to make you. Okay, I know we're about to make. I
I'm
know what
about
we're
to say
doing.
it.
We're locked in on the joke. I don't need to make it. Well, are you ever gonna Smarty Supreme, Jackson?
I mean, eventually.
Okay, because I don't want to spoil the movie for you. It is like a bit of a jarring moment, but we know what that hole came from.
Okay.
There's
I'll get it eventually.
the
You will. You will. If
I
this
can't
is like a
pronounce
Silent
it.
Hill thing and you don't, let us know.
The Bronsteins have had serious hole trauma. Let's just say.
Apparently, like, damn, they must have lived in a lot of New York apartments that were not stable.
Yeah,
I guess.
literally.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to kill this goddamn kid, and I just wanted to see her goddamn face the whole movie, and you don't get that shit, but that's the point, and then it really fucking upsets me, and then when you do get it, it's so fucked that you're just like, I don't want this anymore, and it just does a great job of manipulating you in that sense of what you want, what you need, what the characters need, what the characters want, and how none of that fucking matters because we're all shitty people, and we're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna try our best to do better, but the biggest thing someone can say that's a lie is that I will change, and that's all Rose Byrne says the whole fucking movie to people, and it hits real hard, and that's why I'm also fucking mad that this was only nominated for Best Actress because it deserves more. And
Agreed.
I just loved it, and I think it needed another maybe 15-20 minutes of like bullshit that was going on with her like hallucinations with it, but other than that, chef's kiss. Watching that tube get yanked out of that belly button was something else.
Upsetting.
Wasn't her belly button, but
It was deeply, deeply upsetting.
yeah,
Yeah.
how it just kept coming and kept coming, and she's just pulling and pulling,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah, that like actually kind of like grossed me out a little bit.
Me
and
too.
Like, I can watch Terrifier 3 and laugh, but that grossed me out.
hey,
Yeah.
child
First time.
abandonment be real. If any of these three movies have taught us anything, child abandonment be real.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this movie.
Even when you're there, you're still abandoning them emotionally sometimes. So
Yeah,
Daniel Day-Lewis would be proud.
we have the female Daniel Day-Lewis, or Daniel Plainview, I mean, in this movie.
Yes.
yes, for
But
sure.
no, I really fuck with this movie a lot. Like it is to me, it's like I knew when I saw Mary Bronstein's name, I immediately thought of Ronald Bronstein. I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, bet this is the movie I'm in for. And damn, if I wasn't correct, like it felt like, I know Josh Safdie produced it, so like it helps, but like this felt very like Uncut Gems, but for women type shit, and the anxiety you get put through every fucking scene in this movie. Like before you know ASAP Rocky's cool, you're like, is he gonna fucking do something to her? Like what is going on? Because you never know what's gonna happen, and then her just making increasingly poor decisions the whole movie, and you're like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Um, that's how I kept saying like what the fuck this whole movie, like the whole time in this movie. But I love those kinds
Especially
of
when
movies.
that hamster got ran over.
I
I swear to God.
You know what? It's funny. I thought she was gonna kill the hamster by accident, like crushing it by accident, or like squeezing
Yeah,
it
she
to
was
death.
grabbing it like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, is she gonna squeeze it to death? And
I
then
can't
it
remember
got
the
run
actor's
over, and it
name,
was
though,
even worse.
But great cameo from the dude. He's in Ray Donovan, but the dude who accidentally hits her.
Yeah, Josh Pius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that dude is
Yep.
hilarious, and he's one of my favorite parts of Ray Donovan. So I was happy that he popped up here.
Yeah. And ASAP Rocky, man, he needs to be in more movies. I liked him in Dope, but damn, he is fucking great in this. And I think we'd mentioned it before, but like Conan, his acting is just on par with Rose Byrne at points. He is not doing his goofy shtick, like he is just literally being himself. And I don't know. I'm glad I got to rewatch it. It was better the second time around, in my opinion, because the first time around I was just saying what the fuck. This time around I was like, okay, I'm seeing where this is going. I can see how this works, and because like also to relate it to Uncut Gems, there is like the hole that they just like pan into and go do some crazy visuals in, and it's like that is Jackson. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
hmm
Yeah, like the ending of that when, or
Yeah.
the beginning slash ending where they just
I
do
didn't even until this
something.
moment realize how similar that was. You're right.
And so yeah, like I 10 out of 10. Apparently Max met Mary Bronstein in Berlin. Like
Oh shit.
he went to two screenings of this where she hosted it
Lucky.
and asked her a question and shit. So I'm like, that's kind of dope. But the title, like you said, Sam, I was kind of expecting her to like lose, get paralysis or something. But I get it now, I think. I think I get it
She
now.
actually explained where the title comes from, and it's random as fuck. Uh,
Really?
it's got nothing to do with the movie. She just said like she visited the Sesame Street workshop once, and there she saw like all of the Muppets, like they were kind of like Big Bird was like hanging from the ceiling, basically, the Big Bird costume, but it was just the top half and didn't have any legs. And she just imagined what he would say if he could talk was, "If I had legs, I'd kick you." So don't know why she named the movie after that, but that's what she said. So
I
Well, thank
I
you.
don't know. I didn't know that. I took it as like more of a metaphor for her like not having like emotional or like, you know, like she didn't
could be
have
that. Could be
legs
that.
type shit. And so she kept getting like pushed around, not necessarily pushed around, but kind of pushed around by life in a
She
way.
said that the Muppets in general are a big influence of hers, which is why she used a puppet for the hamster, because she was just like, what she loved about the Muppet show was just like the puppets were always with regular people, but they didn't try to pretend like they weren't puppets, and she just kind of carried that sensibility over and shit. She's like, yeah, it's very obvious that the hamster's a puppet. I'm not even gonna try to hide it. It's just part of the movie. I'm like, I respect that. But yeah, so this was an interesting, this was a rewatch for me. And this is a rarity because normally if we pick a movie where it's something that I just recently watched, I usually don't watch it again because I'm like, I just saw it and I remember it well enough. And I literally just saw this like a month ago. But I watched it again because I absolutely love this movie. This is easily one of my favorite movies of 2025. So I was more than willing to watch it a second time. I was like, yes, let's do it. It'll be fun. And because when I got done with it the first time, again, like Sentimental Value, it was one of those movies where I'm like, I love this, but I'm sure if I watch it again, there's going to be so much shit that I didn't watch the first time. Like, so many things that I will pick up on, and holy shit, was I right. This was almost like the whole movie was recontextualized for me this time. There was so much that I either didn't catch the first time or you're not supposed to notice until the end of the movie the first time. Watching it again with the full context, I'm like, God damn, because like the um the main thing I was paying attention to this time was Conan because their scenes, I loved all of their scenes the first time. But I remember like the first time I watched it, when we get to their last scene, I was like,
Knows what she's trying.
huh. I was like, okay, because the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this guy's a dick. This guy's, fuck him, he's a bad therapist.
Really?
And then for the first time I saw it. And then
Even the first time out. Sorry.
this time I was like, oh, this actually might be the most relatable dude in the movie. Like,
Okay, see,
actually,
that's what
I
I
actually
got
fuck
from
with
it.
his character.
Yeah, like I when I first saw it, I mean, even the second time, but the first time, even I was like, at first I was like, why is he being so rude? And then it kind of started dawning on me. I was like, bro is
But
doing his best to keep the separation real.
right. Because here's the thing. The first time I was like, oh, he's just not paying attention to her. He's just not being a good therapist. He's just being kind of a dick. And then again, watching it this time, it's so clear from the beginning. Like she is being incredibly inappropriate and unprofessional with him, crossing all these boundaries, trying to get him to notice her, doing whatever she has to do. And I'm just like, his demeanor makes so much sense watching it this time. He's trying, but he's fucking exasperated by her, where he's just like, I just want you to get a good night's sleep. You're not listening to me. I'm just like, oh God, no, this man is very valid. It is fucking just exasperation and disdain. So that was like that last scene where he's just like, I see what you're trying to do, Linda, and I'm not having any part of it. You need to leave. I was like, yeah, valid, valid
And
as fuck.
the thing is for me, it turned around a little bit more, especially when he was like trying to help her out with the kid, like after being kind of like pushing her off.
Yeah.
But when he came back and he was like, he felt bad. He was like, my bad. You're dealing with some shit. This is like one of those situations where as a like as a coworker, I should be helping you because you're stuck in a fucking crazy situation. And you
Right.
can kind of see that like on his face and in his like whole the way he just like kind of slumps down on the couch himself.
Hmm.
And he's like not the same person for a minute. And then he tells the kid like, go down to the hall. I will talk to you later.
Right.
And he's just like, no, she's my therapist. And he's like, no, not today, you
That's what I
know?
want to talk about.
Yeah.
Was the sense of ownership of like these clients being like, "I bought your time. You are mine for this."
Hmm.
And so that's where like her barging in when he's in the middle of that session with that lady. I get why he also was like, "Get the fuck out! Like, this is not your place."
Well, and because again, he says to her, he's like, I am not your supervisor. You don't need to come to me with this. I'm in the middle of a session. Like she went to him deliberately because she's obsessed with him pretty much. And yeah, and again, that kid that she's seeing is doing the same thing to her that she's doing to Conan, which I also found interesting. I'm just like, wow, there are like layers to this shit. But yeah, so that was definitely one of the most interesting parts of watching it the second time where I'm like, oh, he's actually super, super valid, and I sympathize with his character a lot. But also, it's like what I love about the movie is like this has kind of become its own like subgenre at this point. The like the stressed out motherhood is like frightening and evil kind of movie. Like there were two movies. Die My Love was another one. That movie was a steaming piece of shit, pretentious ass fucking goddamn stupid fucking movie. This is basically the good version of that. But it's become like kind of like a subgenre. And normally in these kinds of movies, it's a little annoying because the main character is usually like a complete fucking sociopathic asshole. And the whole thing is just like, oh, I deserve to be able to act that way because being a mother is hard and all that shit. So I deserve to act like a complete asshole. And it's kind of annoying. But here it's a different approach where it's like you the movie like you do sympathize with her, but you also are like, God damn, you're out of your mind. Like, what are you doing? These decisions you're making are terrible. But also I sympathize with you at the same time. It's not really making a statement one way or the other, like, you know, oh, she's a terrible person, or oh, you should just defend her in everything she does. It's like, no, it's kind of both. Because there are a lot of points in the movie where I'm like, okay, you're being very irresponsible leaving her by herself and going to get wine or going back to the old house or whatever it is. But also, I do sympathize with you because you are going through a lot. And really what it is
I wasn't too upset about her going to get wine. Like that one, I was like, you're gone for a second, you come back.
no,
When
but
she
she's
went to the old
sitting out
house,
there, for
even
like
well, like you can, it's like she can kind of see the door from probably where she's sitting. She's in a motel, like the door is facing
she
outwards.
shouldn't with her in the machine. I'm just like, it's not.
Hotel's a front, okay? They're purposely doing this to these women so they have to stay at this hotel.
It's a conspiracy. But it's funny because again, what you think at the beginning, because what it is like, yes, she has a lot of external factors stressing her out, and they're relatable. Like, because again, like being a parent, being a mother can be very stressful. But really, what you come to realize is most of the problems she has are not external, they're internal. She's just very broken. She's just very kind of not in a good headspace. And that's where most of the trouble is coming from. But that's the thing. It's not necessarily her fault. Like, because one thing I noticed this time that I did not even think about the first time I watched it, because it's very subtle and I respect it, recontextualize the whole movie. I think her character suffered a lot of child abuse at the hands of her mother, and that's why she's so messed up and why she's so scared of being a mom to her daughter, because there's a quick little moment that I didn't even catch the first time when she goes back to the house and the little like firefly light things are flying around where she whispers like, "Mom?" And I'm just like, "Oh God damn, I didn't even catch that the first time." And she's watching the interview on TV of like, "So your mother was beaten by her mother, and if your mother beat you, would you turn out the same way?" Like I'm like, "Oh, why is she watching that?" And like there are little clues, little subtle hints where they keep talking. And I think that's also why she has that big rant about like it is our fault, stop saying it's not our fault, it is our fault, because she sees it as like, you know, her mom did this to her and it was her fault and passed it on to her. It's not fair, she says, but it is our fault and everything. I don't know. I was looking at it through that lens. The whole fucking movie was completely recontextualized for me, and I'm just like, that's why she's carrying all these feelings around, all this trauma, why she's so scared of being a mom. She's scared she's going to do the same thing to her kid. It just added so many different layers to it.
That's
And
something they say that is also true on the other side of the coin. As a kid, you can't pick your parents, but also as a parent, you can't really pick your kid either. So
right, very true.
Rudderless.
rudderless.
Amen.
We actually got the flip side of the coin on this one.
We did. Oh man. But also again, it's like they're at the beginning they make you think like because Christian Slater also, the first time I watched it, like I had my mind made up about him in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, this guy's a jackass. He's a completely neglectful husband. Like he's just off like, yeah, I'm at a baseball game and just like, oh, this guy's a douche. But then you find out later, like, oh, he actually was not really that, invalid himself because it's like you assume like, oh, he's away. He's off just you assume he's like some businessman or something, just off doing some bullshit. And then when he comes back and you find out he's in the Navy, like he's a sailor, I'm like, oh, well then it's much more valid than why he's gone for so long. He can't really help it. And oh, it is more valid, like he is doing a lot of very stressful work. He does deserve to be able to catch a ball game every now and then just to have a break. But that's the thing too. It's like yes, he's valid for doing all that stuff, but also I do understand why Rose Byrne is also frustrated and jealous that she can't have a moment to herself. It doesn't mean that he's in the wrong. It just means like I do also see where she's coming from, why she's frustrated and everything, because what she's going through is tough. But that's why I think at the end, you know, when after the whole movie of like defending herself and not really wanting to change and kind of being stuck in her little rut I do like at the end, she does say, I'm gonna be better, and she finally sees the daughter because, when I finished the movie, I was like, I think what it means, with the daughter not being seen is she's just not a part of her world. She's not really focusing on her. She's not really paying attention to her like she should. And then when we finally see her face at the end, that's her finally seeing her and actually acknowledging her and paying attention to her the way that she should. And I remember saying that, and I was like, okay, but maybe I'm wrong. And then I saw an interview with Mary Bronstein where she said that's exactly what it meant. And I was just like, hey, like good shit. I'm glad, that I picked up on that and everything.
Depicted,
Because I think that's the silver lining, she
way
finally learns
depicted
to pay attention.
her mania is so like seeps through the screen because like when Christian Slater comes back and the hole's being fixed, like he's so happy, he's like everything's fine, and then it's like, but what just fucking happened in the course of him not being here and the life shaking kind of like destruction that she is just kind of swirling around, and just to see him so happy and like, oh yeah, they couldn't fix the hole. Guess they were not good workers, but also to low key blame her, being like, how could you let it get like this? And it's like,
No, but see,
but
I
he
I did
didn't
not
actually
see
blame her.
I did not see that scene that way because, first of all, again, an example of a lot of the problems she's going through are of her own making.
Hmm.
Because, like, again, you sympathize with her the whole time because you're just like, oh, that sucks that she's trying to get them to fix the house and they just refuse to do anything. And then the minute he gets home, he has it fixed, and she's like, how did you? He's like, oh, you just got to know how to talk to these guys. I'm like, yeah, he didn't yell at them the way she was the whole time and actually like communicated with them and shit. So again, I'm just and her with the parking, I'm just like she's bringing that on herself.
I
Like
got
she
some
could just
creep here who
she
wants to
could
tow my car.
yeah, I'm like she could just park like all the other moms are doing, but she refuses. She's making it more difficult for herself by choosing to park right in front of the building, knowing that the guy's going to yell at her. Like a lot of her problems again, you sympathize, but a lot of them you're like you are bringing this on yourself and you're making this more difficult than it needs to be. And she's also an asshole for leaving ASAP Rocky with a broken leg in the middle of the fucking house. That was just like, God damn. You're starting to lose sympathy for her at that point. You're just like, you're just kind of a dick and you're making bad decisions. But again, like there's that, it walks that line so well of like, you sympathize with her and then you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're out of your mind. Like, why are you doing these things? Which I found that interesting.
Little
Like, she's a,
derailment, but Christian Slater always seems like the dude who, in my brain, he'd be fucking the babysitter. But then I was like, damn, ASAP Rocky and Christian Slater getting it down. Okay, even but then I remember
I'd buy that for $1.
ASAP Rocky's not the babysitter. He just
Okay,
had to
hear
put
me
that
out, guys.
band-aid
Hear
on
me
that
out.
hole.
Hear me out. In the universe where we trade Barbara Streisand for Anne Frank. We do all the things that I mentioned. There is a universe where not Nick Nolte, Christian Slater and ASAP Rocky do a remake of 48 Hours.
I'm
And
here.
I will pay. I will be in
I'm
the
for it.
fucking. I'll
I'm
be
for it.
there.
I'm
I
for it.
need to see them in a movie as a buddy team, even though they were not fucking with each other in this movie.
I'm
I
for
saw
it.
the chemistry of like. I was like, you know what?
100%. I'm here for it.
I don't know.
Um,
I had to bring that up, but I don't know. This movie, it it's really like I guess all three of our movies are like emotional, like impactful movies. Like none of them, like if we had picked Sinners, like emotional, impactful, sure, but it's like got blockbuster qualities. All these were like deep dives into like people's psyches, like all of them. Uh, and I think we got different versions of each one of them too, which I thought was interesting. Like this
each
one's
one
the
is
most romantic and insane one.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing too, like, because I didn't know that but yeah, no, I think I did by the time I watched it. I did know that she was married to Ronald Bronstein. And I remember just like watching it and thinking like must run in the family the ability to just make you as anxious as humanly possible while watching a movie, because holy shit. I was like, just like Uncut Gems and stuff like that, this movie's making me anxious as shit in like a good way, because it's just ratcheting up the tension. And I don't know, again, just
Self-destruction tension
and
too.
we haven't even really talked about Danielle McDonald yet and her whole storyline. And god damn, was that crazy. I mean, she was fantastic. And just like that whole that was probably the most stressful scene of the movie, was when she left the baby in the office and she's fucking, calling the guy and the guy won't pick up and everything. That was just, oh,
Like,
that
come
stressed
pick
me
up
out.
your kid, dude. Jesus Christ, it's
Yeah,
not
he's
that
like, I'm
hard.
sorry,
That's
I'm
my line.
sorry. Who are you? Like, after she said it 3 times, I'm just like, you fucking idiot. Like,
Her coming back too, and like just all crazy, and Rose Byrne just being like, calm down, and it's like that is not what this person needs to hear right now, but that's exactly
yeah,
what I would assume a therapist would say in that situation, and then just her to hit her and just book it into the beach, and then
yeah.
correlating that with her running into the shadows of the
Well,
beach.
because that's the thing. I think
Never
she,
tell a woman to calm down, or a man, to be fair. But definitely never tell a woman to calm down.
yeah, she will not.
It's worse when it comes from another woman too.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh, but that I think I think her character is the thing that Rose Byrne is maybe kind of scared of turning into as well. So there's that, and I think it works on that level, and just so many layers to this movie that just again, I caught a lot of it the first time, but there was so much that I did not catch until the second viewing. So I'm so glad I decided to rewatch it, because there were so many just interesting things that just and Rose Byrne also, Jesse Buckley can suck a cock. Rose Byrne deserves to win on Sunday. Fuck Hamnet. Fuck
I
everything
I
Hamnet.
haven't seen Hamnet. I do like Jesse Buckley, but I don't think there's any realm of like world where I would disagree with what you just said. Like Rose
Yeah,
Byrne needs to win this fucking award.
like literally, she deserves it so fucking much. Did more than just scream and cry into the camera the whole goddamn movie like Jesse Buckley. But it's like, yeah, she cried. Like, okay, Rose Byrne gave a performance. She didn't just scream. She actually gave a performance. Fuck Hamnet. But I just want that movie to get shut out. I hate it so goddamn much.
Coming to
But
Peacock March 6th.
yes,
For the fact though, if Rose or if Jesse Buckley doesn't win, she's gonna get a bunch more roles in the near future. But if she wins, she'll never get a role again for the next 5 years.
very true. So
Her
maybe it is a good thing that she wins then. Um,
Unfortunately, if Rose Byrne wins, we're never seeing her ass again.
Rose Byrne
Hollywood
is
won't hire her anymore.
Rose Byrne is always staying busy, so I have
I
faith.
hope so. I'm just being, the trope, like when an actress
Oh, I
wins
know. Yeah,
Best
if you win, you
Oscars.
disappear for like years usually for
Yeah.
whatever reason. But I've never
I
understood
haven't seen
that.
Adrian Brody and shit.
Well, he was gone and then he came back and then he just left again. He just popped in for a minute to just win an award. It just went back to not doing anything except being in Wes Anderson movies. But yeah. Rose Byrne, again, people's champ. She deserves it infinitely more. And that girl has been goated for decades, but this was her best. Just like Ethan Hawke. Both of them have been goated for decades. And Stellan Skarsgård, again, that's the through line here. Like all of them have been goated for a long time and are finally kind of getting like giving career best performances and big time recognition. ASAP Rocky, Kristen Slater, everybody killed it. My boy Conan murdered this shit. Didn't know he had that in him. I'm just
Yeah.
especially watching it this time, like and noticing like the layers and the subtleties to his character. I'm like, bro killed it.
It's funny how
Like,
people call him like pasty and kind of ghoulish, but like that really fit his character so well. Watching how like pale his skin was and the way he just sat and just the like tenseness of his face with the glasses just hanging out the edge of his nose.
yeah.
Just like, I
And
don't
then
want you.
fucking yeah. And just when he like slumps down and is talking about the rats and everything, you're just
Yeah.
like, this is a little unsettling. But and I really am excited to see what Mary Bronstein does next. I hope she's not one of these directors who's just like a one-hit wonder. I really hope she's got more in her because there's a lot of talent here. You can see it.
Well, she wrote, apparently Max was telling me she wrote this like in a bathroom on like break, like when she was at work, when she was like working at like this like not great job, you know.
That's pretty wild.
And he asked her that. Okay, that's sorry. It came back to me what he asked her. He asked her like how much of that script like was in the movie, like stayed like throughout the whole thing.
Right.
She's like pretty much all of it. Like a lot of it was there. Like that whole me, like. And honestly, the fact that she wrote it in a bathroom makes so much sense when you like
Yeah.
think about the movie. You're like, I get that vibe.
It kind of starts in a bathroom with the daughter in the bathroom with the water and everything.
Yep.
No, I did hear her say because she was on Conan's podcast and I watched that interview and she said like she did not have to make any creative compromises with this. Like A24 was very like, you
No,
know, cool about letting her make the movie she wanted and
two
she was
Oscar
happy with
specials
it.
with two A24 movies I picked.
Hey, well, no,
I
I
picked
don't
The
think that.
Brutalist.
Oh, yeah, last year. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to A24.
I think at least this time we don't have a movie we vehemently hate.
Yeah, did I redeem myself this year finally?
I think you did.
Yes. I was
At
like,
least I
I
could
gotta
see
pick.
what the fuck was going on, and I don't have this really darkly lit room that's full of bullet holes and fucking whatever the fuck that was in that ending moment with all the gun shooting.
Yeah. No, yeah. Last year I had to do it. I had to pick the bad one on purpose, but this year I was like, got to make up for it. I'm gonna pick a banger this time. So,
I think we all picked bangers in our own ways. They're not like I wouldn't say like there was. I'd say probably honestly out of the three, like I if I had legs, I'd kick you as my favorite. But Blue Moon, since I hadn't seen it already, like was my favorite out of the two I hadn't seen.
yeah.
And no
Like
offense to Sentimental Value, but like at least none of them are like bad.
the sentimental value is definitely I didn't like it nearly as much as the other two, but I liked all three and like Blue Moon and If I Had Legs I'd Kick You are both like two of my top like favorite movies of the year. So I'm
Can't believe
glad
we haven't
we
really mentioned her whole suicide attempt.
which was nuts at the fucking end.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
love that.
tried to Star is Born it and it was it didn't quite
Except
work.
for the water isn't as good as a noose, so
Yeah.
not as
Mm.
sturdy, not as
Oh
strong.
yeah, that's what Bradley Cooper does in the new one because that movie sucks cock. But fuck, I hate that goddamn version of the movie. Oh, I hate that
Do
movie
you
so much.
do you keep saying that just because of Rules of Attraction?
Say what?
You keep saying it sucks cock. Like you've used that term a couple times. I'm just
I think
wondering if
I've
it's
always
from
done it.
that scene.
You're just starting to notice. Either cock or ass. It's usually one of the two.
That I was about to say. I feel like he's usually ass, and like the last week it's been cock. I'm just something I've noticed.
Okay.
But
Well, yeah, maybe Rules of Attraction brought that out in me.
like, all right, I'm gonna start using cock again.
So rough though, and then it like turning into the hole and like the like hallucinatory kind of aspects of the inside of the hole with like the sound of the water just going in her mouth.
The scene where she pulled the tube out distressed me beyond words. It was so fucking, oh
Well,
my God.
because honestly, the point when she said, "Oh, so you can do it yourself," like, "Oh, you don't really need you," like, I kind of knew that was coming. I just didn't expect
Yeah.
it to be so quick. I thought it was gonna be like the end of the movie.
Now I did think that
Less than
if
a
she
minute.
did that and then left, they were gonna come back and she was gonna be dead in that bed, and I was gonna be like, this is gonna get even worse than it is. But she was alive, so
Thank God. But do we have any final thoughts on If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You?
I just think it's really awesome that it exists.
You know what I would do if I had legs?
What?
Walk.
Same?
But
If,
I
if
don't know where I was gonna
Larry
go with that.
Hart had longer legs, he probably would have been a bit more famous.
If he had longer legs, he would have gotten with Margaret Qualley.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But no, didn't you see Materialists? No, if he had the confidence to ask her out, even if he was short, he still would have gotten somewhere.
Though,
Wink, wink.
Jackson, I think because of this, um, I've been tasked with a little thing before you take this shindig out, because I might have gotten a secret tease at who is going to be winning at this Oscar season.
You better get it right this year because you got it wrong last year.
I don't remember what I said last year.
You said Wicked,
Oh, damn, that's
and I'll
why.
never forgive you for it because you were wrong and you were a liar.
Did you place bets? Did you have your
I lost my entire goddamn life savings because of you, you bastard. I'll never forgive you
DraftKings made a
for it.
lot of money that day.
Yeah, I know.
If I had had legs, I would have kicked you back then.
But if
I
anything,
know you lost your legs because you had to sell them.
Of course.
this might be a little tease of one of the wins. Let's find out what happens.
Let me say A24 wants one battle after another to win for some reason.
And the winner of the
It's going to
winner
be Marty
of
Supreme.
of this year's award is funny enough. See, we got the award here, and we're gonna go crazy. But
Hey.
we got to see who won. Oh, after last year's situation, we did not receive the winner. Well, we did receive the winner. She has claimed the award for every single award this year. She has the coveted movie.
Golden Calf.
After who got nominated last year, she sent us a letter that I don't think I could read for you, but I'll just show you the photo she sent with it that shows that she is the owner and the rightful person who can tell us what's in the Oscars or not. We have received a letter
Monica
from
Lewinsky.
none other than this specific lady who is getting more and more terrified the more she witnesses what Amelia Perez has done to the film industry. Good
I
God.
don't know who the fuck that is, Sam.
I don't either. Who the fuck is that?
J.K. Rowling has sent
Oh! I knew she looked familiar.
claiming that
I'm not
it
used to her with
is-
blonde hair.
the Oscars are not going to happen this year due to the last year's Oscars, and everybody who deserves to win is Blue Moon. Blue Moon, you get every single award tonight. Because
Wait,
is it the
Sam, what the fuck letter did you just show us? Did J.K. Rowling through A24 send you a letter?
no?
I'm so fucking confused right
You know,
now.
there's like 90% of the bit you just did I don't get, but you said Blue Moon wins, so I'm happy.
Yeah, but wait,
I
no.
was saying we had to make corrections from last year because we featured Amelia Perez.
Oh,
and who
the joke is the
person-
move. Yeah, okay. She doesn't
it
like
isn't
Amelia
Why
actually-
do you have a
Perez
picture of her, though?
It's a
because
letter,
she's transphobic and
Stuart,
Amelia Perez and all that.
It's a letter that came.
No, but like, how did you get that picture is my question. I'm not
Oh,
even
that's
like...
a good question. That's a good question.
We have been cleaning out our house, and Stuart found you know those things when you do in elementary school and you write an author and they write back to you.
Yeah.
That is what this is.
Oh, she wrote
And
J.K.
so
Rowling and her
we were-
secretary wrote back.
We were gonna throw it away, and I was like, wait, I gotta use it for the bit, but the bit didn't hit. But she,
You gotta keep the letter. Come on, you gotta keep it for...
It took me about a couple of minutes to get it, but now I see what you were going for.
Okay.
the movie
yes, I
is
get it
here,
now.
the movie is for you, Ethan Hawke. Come and get your due because you are going to win this year, my friend. That is my
If only.
prediction.
If
That is my
only.
prediction.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That would be
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
But while we're here, before we end this little shindig, do we want to? I just want to take a moment. You guys can do the same if you want. I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the best movies of 2025 that may not have gotten so much recognition from the Oscars. Because there were many. If you look at my list on Letterboxd of my 2025 movies ranked, most of the Best Picture nominees are not towards the top. So I just want to fucking Sinners and Blue Moon and Begonia are all there, which I'm happy about. Blue Moon should have gotten more, but Sinners and Begonia are the only ones there that like I really fucked with high key. There are also many other fucking I cannot stress this enough to everybody. Roofman, my favorite movie of last year. Watch it. Watch it for the love of God. It is so good. Beautiful, absolutely just moved me beyond words. Incredible fucking movie. Was filmed in Charlotte and is set in Charlotte. Channing
Carolina
Tatum.
Play
and
Small,
Kirsten
baby.
Dunst. So what?
Carolina Play Small, baby.
That's right. Beautiful movie. Fucking, is this thing on? Great movie. Bradley Cooper finally made something I liked as a director. A long goddamn last. It took him fucking long enough, that schmuck. But, there's that fucking Eternity, underrated movie that Matt is in the
Really
middle
want to
of
watch
watching. Matt
Oh,
is in the middle of it.
I
So
started it, and I'm picking Defending Your Life this season because of it. But I actually do fuck with it. I don't know if you've seen it, Sam, but I
that. No,
fuck
no,
with
no. I
it.
really want to watch it.
it's on Apple right now. It's such an
I was
underrated movie.
surprised. I kind of went in with like hatred in my heart, and it turned me around.
Heard. Okay.
Weapons, which has one nomination but deserved a lot more, I thought was better than most of the Best Picture
I'm
nominees.
agreeing with you on Weapons. I
That was
think
my
some
favorite
people like
theater
it. Well,
experience of
at
last
least
summer.
what's your name? Amy
Yeah,
Madigan.
she's
She's
nominated. That's the
nominated,
only
so
thing
that's
it
good.
got, but
Well, at least she got nominated.
she deserves to
That's at
win out
least.
of everybody who's there, in my opinion. I don't think she's gonna, but she deserves it. That would be wonderful. No other choice, god damn it. F your
Still need to see it.
consideration, as they said on their billboard.
I
One
haven't
of the
seen it
best
yet, but I
movies of
can't
the
wait.
year. Hands fucking
Cannot
down.
wait.
Amazing movie. Park is a god.
No
Um,
offense to Sentimental Value, but I think that's what upsets me about it. Like, I get all having Best Foreign category and Best Picture having nominated for both, but if they had nominated No Other Choice, Sentimental Value could have really like had a strong Best Picture case, and No Other Choice could have taken that Best Foreign, and I just would have been a lot
right.
more happy.
For whatever reason, the Academy hates Park Chan-wook. I don't understand why, but they always
Fucking
have.
WGA, but also
Rental Family,
we love you.
another top tier fucking movie. Brendan Fraser deserved a nomination. He got snubbed hard. The movie was absolutely beautiful and heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. Amazing. I know this one. I'm not saying this next one should even be. It was just one of my favorite movies of the year. Superman, God damn it.
Heard.
Loved that
At
movie.
least visual effects or something.
Yeah, it's something, like fuck, not even that. The Roses, amazing, extremely
Roses should have
underrated
gotten
movie.
screenplay at least. Like,
Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman both, I think, easily
yep.
could have been. Amy Poehler made a good point that the only reason they weren't nominated is because the movie's a comedy, and comedy performances aren't taken seriously.
But is it a comedy? Like it's described as a
I
comedy. When you
mean,
watch the movie, you're like, this is funny, but it's
that's the
not funny
thing.
because they're being ha ha funny. They're being dead serious, and
That's
it's
the
funny.
thing. The trailers for that movie did not do it justice at all. They made it look like it was this wacky fucking comedy, and then you go see the movie and you're just like, "Oh, there are a lot of parts of this that are actually dead fucking serious," like you said, Matt, and it's
Got an
not.
email from A24. They are releasing If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You on Blu-ray now, and perfect
Yay!
timing to have that happen right on the cast.
Hell yeah. But
I
Fantastic.
cannot wait
now
to
I
see it.
convinced one of my coworkers at Cinemark to go see it, and he went and saw it with his brother, and he was like, "Dude, that was really fucking good." Like I was like, because he thought it was gonna be bad, and I was like, honestly, I thought it was gonna be bad too. It was actually fucking solid, and he went and saw it, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He was
And
literally
then
like three people in the theater, and him and his brother, and I was like, yes.
I would have loved to have seen it in a theater, but again, did not get a wide release near me, so I had to wait till it was on HBO
Yeah,
Max.
that is not getting a wide release right now is Pillion. I need to see Pillion.
Oh
Pillion's out of
yeah,
my theater.
another Skarsgård.
I'm not going to see it because I don't want them to be like Matt.
What, you don't want to take a ball gag and a chain and some leather and just go to town in that theater?
If I was gonna say if I was gonna beat anybody that way, it would be Dudley Dursley. Like that's what you get to hear, you piece of shit. Sorry.
I will say that he has had one of the greatest glow ups an actor has ever had. Even
He
more so.
really, it's kind of amazing how much he has. It's
Like,
kind of nuts.
Well, him
Like,
and Ballad of Buster Scruggs was when I like opened my fucking eyes wide to him. I was like, yo.
yeah,
he was
like
in
that was
Pale
when I
Blue
was.
Eyes, wasn't he?
Huh?
Pale Blue Eyes.
Yep,
Yeah, he was really good in that.
yep. And the Lost City of Z, he had a small part in, and
Yeah,
yeah, he's a really good actor. But just real quick, other honorable mentions: Ballad of Wallace Island. Nobody. It's a
I
very
need
low
to see
key
that movie.
movie. It's
Everyone
so
I know that
good.
has seen it love it.
It's so good. I was a big fan of the Springsteen movie. I thought that was a really Scott Cooper is goated. I
Cooper.
thought that was great.
Have you seen
Um,
Antlers yet though?
I haven't. I need to. But I need to catch up on my Scott Cooper. Life of Chuck. I don't care what the internet says. Love it.
Hmm.
Thursday Murder Club was goated. Predator
I was about to
Badlands,
bring up
Naked
Thursday
Gun.
Murder Club.
Yeah, Thursday Murder.
Imagine Pamela Anderson getting nominated for Naked Gun.
She should have been nominated for Last Showgirl, and she
Would have.
wasn't. But
Would have.
No, it could have been nice, guys. Instead of Carla Sofia Gascon, we could have had Pamela Anderson, and it would have been nice. But no, they had to fuck up. So then everything got really fucking ugly, because that's what they get as retribution. But Naked Gun, I surprisingly fucked with Avatar Fire and Ash. I loved the second one and the third one. I hated. I've been shit talking Avatar for the better part of 15 years. And then I finally got turned around once I saw the second one. I liked the third one a lot. Song Sung Blue, Together, Eddington, The Smashing Machine, Splitsville, Bring Her Back. It was just an accident. All just, Predator Killer of Killers. All just like, movies that aren't getting a ton of recognition, but should because they're great. And all of those are better than
Okay.
most of the Best Picture
No,
nominees
no.
this year.
That I need
Here's
to-
my biggest snub is Sorry Baby.
Agreed. Fantastic
Should have
movie.
been
Don't spoil anything that I haven't
that
seen.
better have that should have gotten Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actress, Best fucking
Yeah.
writer. Like that should have at least had nominations at
If
the
y'all are
least.
Best actress for sure, and
I'm
best
gonna be
screenplay,
very
I
down
think.
once
Yeah.
they all become available to have an episode where we just focus on what should have been nominated with no other choice. Sorry, baby, and then whatever you pick, Jackson.
Yeah.
Because man, I will talk about Sorry Baby for days. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to see if what Eva Victor does next.
I have a few that I need to bring up. Other than Eddington, which we've talked about enough on this podcast. I really liked Bring Her Back. I don't know if y'all did.
Yeah, I just saw that like a couple weeks ago. That movie
Fuck.
disturbed me to my core. I thought everybody was just overhyping how fucked up and like brutal it was. And literally not since Hereditary have I been that fucking disturbed by a movie. It was viscerally upsetting in
That
the
movie
best
is funny
way.
to me. I watched it blackout drunk at like 1 a.m. and not expecting to finish it. I finished all of it and then woke up the next morning not remembering one fucking scene from the movie, but I checked my letterbox and apparently I gave it like a 5-star rating and I was like, this movie is amazing. And so I was like, well, clearly I liked it, but I could not tell you why or what happened, but
I
I'm sure
remember
it was
your
as fucked
review
up as
wa-
everyone says.
Your review was, "This is one of my favorite movies of the year!" Exclamation point.
See? And I woke up and I was like, oh, okay, bet. I don't remember fucking
Well, the fact
frame.
that you don't remember makes that so much funnier to me.
That movie has
I was onto something though.
I had like
Yep.
a 2-hour conversation with Ricky afterwards, just talking about the movie, not even looking at our phones or anything, and it's rare that a movie lets me do that, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Sally Hawkins genuinely like
I'm sorry, Sally Hawkins, for the words I have said about you, and I know I retracted it earlier, but I really need to give you your praise because this is god tier performance.
like, it's one of those things again. I'm just like, where is she? Why is she not nominated? Like, you can't tell me that's not one of the best performances of the year. You can't. She's absolutely incredible in it. But
Need to
yeah, and
bring
also
that-
just real quick, among the ones I just mentioned, one that I think you two in particular, Matt, I think this one will be your cup of tea. Splitsville, did you ever see that?
No, I want to.
I think it would be your cup of tea. It's really fucking good. That's another little underrated gem.
Yeah.
From last year.
I need to bring up Downton Abbey 3 because
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
well, it is not my favorite of the movies. I just needed it in my life really badly at the time, and it just
It packed an emotional wallop.
Yeah,
Matthew Good is a piece of shit.
I hate him. Something that caught me off guard, funny enough, is Caught Stealing. I think I didn't, as much as I love Aronofsky and The Whale and all of the style, I just didn't think I was going to like this movie, and I was surprised. I was watching it on a 48-hour staying awake period also really kind of put me in the mindset of that. And that's where I need to shout out Toxic Avenger. Shout out, because
I know Toxic Avenger shouldn't win an Oscar and be nominated, but we just
Oh,
get
yeah.
we have to shout it out because
It's the
holy
fact that
shit.
Yeah, that's the point. Is like, let's mention even if we don't think it should be nominated, just shit we liked from last year.
I'm shouting out The Accountant too.
hell
I know a lot of
yeah.
people. That's a
Can't
that's
get
a
on
tough
board.
one.
Can't get on board.
I
That's where I need to
fucking love
bring
that
up
movie.
Nona's. Nona's is an
Yes!
Nona's is a good one. Nona's is a good
Amazing
one.
underrated gem.
I don't know why that movie isn't talked about more. It just fucking goes hard as shit.
So good.
Yeah.
One of the best things Vince Vaughn has done in years. And my love for Lorraine Bracco is eternal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Movies that I don't like though. 28 years later, the first one. I
Fully
haven't seen the
agree.
second one. The second one I have hope for because I've heard good things, and I'm like, honestly, at the end of the first one, I went, oh, I'm getting into this. I'm happy. Like Jack O'Connell showed up. His character's fucking insane. I'm getting on board. And then it ends, and I was like
So
Jesus
I
fuck.
That was loud. Was that you, Matt?
Sorry, that's me. Yeah,
Oh.
my aunt's texting me. But now that he's in this one, and like everyone's like, this movie's insane. He's crazy. Him and Ralph Ray Fiennes just go fucking insane. And I'm like, that is what I wanted in the first one.
No, I'm really excited to see this new one. I am mad I didn't see it in theaters because I think I liked the first one enough to go see it. But the first one I loved when I saw it, and then the more I sat on the first one, the less and less and less and less I've liked it. Other than the Aaron Taylor Johnson chase through the water, like there's not much of that movie that I think I got what I
That
wanted
one
from it.
unfortunately made me laugh because of the dick just flopping around.
No,
I was like,
literally, my review for that afterwards was I thought Shaun of the Dead was the greatest zombie comedy of all time. Like this, the unintentional hilarity of just that giant 8 foot tall naked zombie just running with its dick flopping around was like the most unintentionally
well,
funny shit.
they covered him up in the new one, and the joke is like, did the zombies gain humility or something? Like shame or whatever? Like what happened? Why did they just start wearing clothing all of a
I did
sudden?
not. 28 years later, man, what a waste of time that was. That was just I did not fuck with that movie
I
whatsoever.
really enjoyed Friendship, but I think the chair company blew it out of the water entirely, so that
Yeah,
it's like kind of disappeared. But I think
I did love Friendship though.
Friendship was great.
as much as I was upset, I think The Materialist has stuck with me the most out of a lot of things this year.
I was about to say, I will say, I still think about the Materialists, and I do talk about it to some people because I'm like, it's an interesting movie, and I've never, again, we had such an interesting conversation about it, and I don't
We
think I've
did.
talked to one person about that movie and not had like a good conversation about it, and I'm like, that does say a lot in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it inspires conversation, which is kind of the point that we all made is like, because I don't think in the history of the podcast, the three of us have ever talked over each other that much because we all just had like our like visceral feelings about it that we wanted to get
Spilling
out. And
my
I
whole
just,
beer all over myself,
yep.
just great.
No, that's the maddest I've ever seen Sam get. That's the loudest I've ever heard him get on this whole show before. So it was because it does provoke a lot of strong reactions, which is good. And that's kind of what it was trying to do.
And
One
Jackson,
movie
watch it.
that
Oh,
oh go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, like, watch it when you're ready and when you feel free to. But I think you really would benefit from watching Marty Supreme in a lot of aspects.
I want to at
It's a
some point.
really fucking good movie, man.
I know I
It's
can't do it right now, but like I
No,
want
that's fair.
to at
It's
some
fair,
point.
completely.
But
Eventually, though,
yeah.
keep that on your list.
Because I look, the Safdies are always like a bit of a I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm always like curious because Good Time is one of the only six movies I've ever walked out of in my life. I hated that movie passionately.
Yeah,
But then I absolutely loved Uncut Gems. That was like a masterpiece. So I'm just like, and The Smashing Machine. I think that movie was treated very unfairly. I really loved that movie. That was one of my favorites of the year. It was not fair the way that movie was
Jackson,
just
you
totally
need to
swept
see
under the rug.
you need to see the Iron Claw because that's what the Smashing Machine needed was that little extra push of emotional gravitas for the main.
It's not like people were going in expecting The Wrestler. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
that
yeah,
movie.
no,
It's
no.
not that movie. It's going for something completely different. Like it's just a fucking character piece. I like how low key and understated it is. I like how it's not this big dramatic like, the wrestling movie kind of thing. It's like no, it's just about this dude, his struggles, his relationship with his wife. I fucked with it. I see what Benny Safdie was trying to do, and I respect
You
it.
need to watch The
I don't.
Curse with him and Nathan.
Dwayne Johnson, I did not think he had that in him. He fully, whatever you think of the movie, you can't deny he was fantastic. Like
he was great. I never was worried
he
about that. I
fully
just
went
thought
for
like
it, and
the
he
writing.
gave a great performance. So, but one other thing I got to shout out, I was probably the only person on the planet who liked Anemone. I think that was
I really want
another.
to watch it. I still haven't.
I think it's valid. Daniel Day-Lewis, again, whatever you think of the movie, bro, absolutely just murdered it. Murdered it.
What I've been waiting for is a little bit closer to summer when it's just like a really rainy day and I can open the windows and have like candles lit. Do you think that would be the vibe or just go?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, either way, but that definitely would help because a lot of the movie is kind of gray and, gloomy and shit. Um,
I forgot a point, but Jackson, you're watching Everybody Loves Raymond on my Paramount, right?
I am.
Okay, so you have access to it. There's something on there that I wanted y'all to watch, and I want to show.
Sorry, this reminds me of have you guys have not seen the Pete Davidson show that he made,
Bupkis.
Bupkis.
Focus. I've seen some
There
scenes.
is a whole bit where he is on Sebastian Stan's Prime Video and buys the complete series to Everybody Loves Raymond, but he does it episode by episode
Oh,
to
that's
make it
even worse.
really
That's
expensive.
even worse. Oh man, that's
And you
so
think
bad.
like and then the thing is he's fucked up on drugs, and then he literally Raymond is it like Ray Romano appears as a hallucination dressed as an Everybody's Loved Raymond, and he's like as Ray, and he's talking to him like as Raymond, and then later on in the episode he runs into Ray Romano at a comedy club, being Ray Romano normally, and he's like, "Yeah, you were in Sebastian Stan's fucking trailer," and Ray Romano's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, you were talking to me," and he's like, he literally just gets freaked out and like walks away. And then
That's
later, the
amazing.
very end of the episode, he runs into Sebastian Stan, who appears as himself, and he's like, "Hey, you bought fucking Everybody Loves Raymond on my Amazon Prime in my trailer." And he's like, "No, I didn't." And like that's like basically the end of the episode. I was like, "This is one of the funniest things ever." So the fact that you said that just reminded me of that whole
That's
thing.
hilarious.
I recommend that show. I know a lot of people don't fuck with Pete Davidson, but
I'm three
honestly, that
epi-
show turned me around on him.
I'm 3 episodes into Everybody Loves Raymond, and I'm enjoying it so far, but I got a long way to go.
You do. You have a
The
whole
last
journey, and
movie,
then you have the reunion episodes they just
I
did.
was gonna say you
oh
got.
right, they did. Yeah, that's right. Another one I want to shout out, The Day the Earth Blew Up, the Looney Tunes movie.
Oh, heard
That
it.
It
was
didn't get released.
No, it got
the
released.
what?
Oh, that not the one with Will Forte.
No. This one is fully animated.
Okay.
It's fantastic. Just goddamn, I was very surprised how much I love that. That should have gotten a Best Animated Feature thing. If we're talking about ones I hate, Hamnet Can Suck 10,000 Dicks. I cannot put into word. I almost walked out of that movie. I cannot put into words my hatred for it. It is such a melodramatic, overrated, fucking trauma porn, pandering piece of fucking dog shit. I goddamn hate it. And Ian McKellen made me feel seen because he hates the movie too
I
and
am
thinks it is completely
so
ridiculous.
excited.
So-
Speaking of Steven Soderbergh, I might have his recent pick on the podcast. I've been looking into his movie The Christophers with Ian McKellen, and I am so excited. I'm like,
Yeah,
Hell
Soderbergh,
yeah.
are you finally breaking out of this little box you've been like swirling inside of for like the last 5 years?
It's not shot on a fucking iPhone, is it?
I hope not. I don't know.
It doesn't look
He-
like it
The
via the trailer or
stills.
the
No,
poster.
he's
But
finally
like,
moved away from that. Yeah.
thank God. Like I was kind of I was like, I get pioneering that when it wasn't being like super big. Now it's like, dude, go back. I need some camera work from you, bro.
Well, in fairness, his last movie, Black Bag, I was not a fan of, and that was shot like a normal movie, so it clearly doesn't make a difference.
At
But
least he's willing to hire
Forgot
Michael
about that.
Fassbender. Because
What?
at least he's willing to hire Michael Fassbender. Because I need more of that man in my life.
I
same.
heard Asperger's for some reason.
Heard. No, that's
was
the
like,
child, and if I had legs, I kick you. That's why they didn't show her. So, but I for a second thought Different Man was 2025, but no, that was 24.
Yep.
But there's 2025 was just such a weird year. There was like nothing felt like, oh, this is it, but everything culminated into such a way that I've like enjoyed the year's worth of movies. So
I did feel like every month, at most like 2 months, like a big movie came out, like that everyone wanted to see and everyone talked about. So I give it credit for that. Like
It was
felt
a
like
busy
good
year. I mean, there
Yeah,
were
it
there
was
were a
busy
lot
year.
of. I think it was a great year for movies. I mean, I saw a lot of great stuff. I mean, and of course you're going to see some bad stuff every year, but I was very happy with the wide selection because that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff I've been trying to catch up on that I didn't see, that I'd like to see. So there's even more out there. I'm trying really hard to see all of the Best Picture nominees I haven't seen yet, and a couple other things I really want to get into. I want to see that movie Novocaine. That looked interesting when it came out,
It's a
but
fun one. I mean, I feel like it's definitely a at-home movie. You do not need to see that in theaters type shit,
Yeah.
but I had fun with it.
But yeah, just all kinds of stuff. And in my opinion, like if you ask me what I think deserves to win Best Picture out of everything that's nominated, my answer is going to be Sinners. But even if it doesn't, it's fine. It's there. It got a lot of nominations. That's what counts. That was definitely like what a movie that was. Almost my number one, but Roofman just edged it out. So
Ricky said that
Yeah, but
it was
again,
so
it's
sad that he almost couldn't finish it.
Which one?
Roofman.
Oh shit.
I don't know what.
wait, say what?
Ricky said that
Oh,
Roofman was really sad and it made him almost turn it off because he was just feeling really depressed.
I understand why. But it's such a beautiful movie. It really was wonderful. But Kirsten Dunst should be nominated for sure. But yeah, but we're all talking, we're all making our comments, our jokes, or whatever. But all joking aside, the best movie of the year, hands down, we can all agree on this, I think, was War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that took the internet by storm.
I mean, Ice Cube should win every award on the planet for that because what a performance for the ages that was.
Sitting in a chair the whole movie almost, like one angle,
I know.
and still killing it like that.
I know. Like
Would
the
you say,
man's just too
Jackson, with the
talented.
amount of like camera zooms and stuff that we have included into this podcast, that it does more visually than that movie did? Now I've seen it.
Yep. Hey, people will get it. 20 years from now, that movie will be reevaluated as a masterpiece.
Amen.
But
Just like the Orson Welles World of Worlds, it'll take its time.
exactly.
Hey, the
People
War
will
of the
get it
Worlds with
eventually.
oh no, that's The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves. I actually like that movie a lot. I don't care that people are mad about it. The War of
When
the
the
Worlds.
world is being saved by Amazon drones, we will look at this movie and we will say they knew.
Give us
They knew
Pluribus
what was
season 2,
coming.
you fuck.
Yep.
But that is it for our Oscars special, our second annual Oscars special. Hopefully, we recaptured some of that magic from last year and brought to you all an interesting episode filled with good discussions as always. Thank you for watching yet again another episode of 343. And I think I can safely say we are all 3 for 3 this week.
Yeah.
I think I need a full rewatch of Sentimental Value for it to be a full 3, but timid.
Three for 3 with an asterisk.
I can understand that this movie is better than 90% of the goddamn shit that's gonna probably win over it. So
I'm so glad we're in agreement on that. That it's just like most of the shit that's there just doesn't deserve to be, but it's whatever. But yes, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, vote in the poll, all that good shit. And be prepared because next week we're taking a little trip to a certain country, if you will. And it'll be a very interesting episode as it was last year. But until then, we'll see all of you lads and lassies next week.
For your consideration.
it's been a 3 for 3.
F your consideration. Park Chan-wook forever. The streets have your back, Park.
We are here. Leave us Park Chan shook with your next movie.